We've been waiting all summer long for the third Saturday in October. Hockey season is back. The Gladiators are ready for battle as Cody Sylvester and the Atlanta Gladiators host Mick Messner and the Utah Grizzlies in the season opener here at Gas South Arena. I'm Guy Chiarenza, joined by Andrew Fleming. We got a good one here on tap. Two teams that normally don't see each other all that often. They're seeing each other here tonight. Just the 7th all-time meeting between the Gladiators and the Grizzlies. Both teams looking to improve upon last season. Both clubs missed the playoffs. Atlanta and Utah both finished towards the bottom of the standings last season. But the talk around the town, the talk in the building, and the talk coming from the coaching staff and the players and everybody associated with the Atlanta Gladiators is that they don't just want to make the playoffs this year. They want to go far. They want to win the Kelly Cup. And it feels like the sentiment is felt throughout Atlanta as the Gladiators look to join together for one battle to win the Kelly Cup. Andrew, it's been a long summer. Gladiators are finally back in action. I'm excited.
Me too, Guy. I'm ready to go. You know, Coach Matt Ginn, first game here tonight behind the bench for the Gladiators. I'm sure he's got his boys fired up, and they're ready to go for this first one here against the Grizzlies.
Speaking of Matt Ginn, it is his first game as the head coach behind the bench for the Atlanta Gladiators. Last year served as the assistant coach under Derek Nesbitt, in which the Gladiators finished the campaign, again, as we mentioned, towards the bottom of the standings, 6th in the South Division. Atlanta finished with a record of 28-35-7-2 for 65 points. They're trying to get back into the playoff picture for the first time since 2021-2022. Matt Ginn seems like he's assembled the roster. Seems like it's got a good mix of speed and size.
Yeah, spoke to Coach Ginn at training camp last week. This team wants to play with some pace, and it looks like they can. Watching them in training camp, they were flying all over the place, looking to be quick in transition, getting pucks deep, and being hard on pucks.
And still filing in here for the home opener at Gas South Arena. Utah Grizzlies are in town. Utah is playing in their second game of the season as the Grizzlies are coming off of a 3-1 win in Greenville last night. And it was a very, very good night for Garrett Pike, the defenseman for Utah, as he is on an AHL contract with the Colorado Eagles. Went down, scored 2 goals, matched his goal total in the ECHL from last year, in which he had 2 goals in 19 games. Goes in, pots 2 last night, and the Grizzlies are 1-0. A good showing in Greenville for Utah. Helps Atlanta out a little bit, as we're probably hoping for Greenville to lose, as Atlanta with a win here today can get a leg up on Greenville in the standings. But seems like it's a much different Utah team this year. Seems like the Grizzlies are a bit more defensive-minded this season, and of course getting a little bit more help from a couple of AHL teams, as the Utah Mammoth are no longer affiliated with an ECHL club, so the Grizzlies get a little bit double dipping here. They got some guys from Tucson, they've got some guys from their affiliate, the Colorado Eagles, as well. We'll get a good look at them here tonight when the Gladiators and the Grizzlies square off. More on the pregame show to come, but first let's take a 30-second break here as we're getting fired up for first period action between the Gladiators and the Grizzlies.
Oh, blimey. You've let us astray again.
But these maps are so tricky.
I've got your treasure.
Do tell, Daddy.
Play Keno and win money every 3.5 minutes. Kevin, give the signal. You pick 10 numbers. Fire! Then Keno picks 20.
The more we be matching,
The more we be winning! And now we feast!
Or not win up to $100,000 every 3.5 minutes playing Keno.
We are ready for battle here at Gas South Arena. Utah Grizzlies and the Atlanta Gladiators facing off here tonight in Atlanta's season opener. It's a pretty good mix of returning players on the roster for Atlanta and newcomers into the lineup, as Gladiators head coach tonight is Matt Ginn. Took a moment to talk about the assistant coach, Zach Vanel, as well, as Vanel is in his first season as the assistant coach for Atlanta. Played a pretty good college career before suffering an injury that led him to turn to coaching, as he played at Merrimack for a number of years, then played for the Indy Fuel for a few games before heading overseas for a couple of years to play in the EIHL. Has since been coaching for the last few years. Now joins Matt Ginn behind the bench on the Gladiators coaching staff.
Yeah, Vanel, bit of a younger guy. Seen him in the room. The guys seem to love him. He's great at working with the guys, and I'm excited to see what he can do for this Gladiators team this year behind the bench.
So talking about the roster and this Gladiators team that they've built, 12 out of the 25 players that are currently on the roster were not on the team last season. So Brendan Less, Jack Robilotti, Ryan Conroy, where they were all acquired in various trades throughout the course of the offseason. Conroy and Less both coming in from the Adirondack Thunder in separate trades. Jack Robilotti came over in a futures trade that was completed over the course of the summer. Isaac Walter, Riley Appelt, Ryan Nolan, Louis Boudin, who's an alternate captain for the Gladiators this season, Mike McNamee, Ethan Scardina, and Peter Morgan were all signed to SPCs, standard player contracts in the offseason. And Kalen Lind and TJ Septemfelter were both assigned to the Gladiators by our AHL affiliate, the Milwaukee Admirals. As we're getting set for first period action here at Gas South Arena, we'll see the Gladiators on the ice in just a few moments when they step out of the tunnel for the first time this season. But it seems like it's a good mix throughout the course of this roster. Gladiators have a lot of experience. They also have a lot of size, a lot of speed, and a lot of guys coming from a couple of different backgrounds. Seems like a good mix for Matt Ginn's squad. Look to get their first win here tonight and kick off the season 1-0.
Yeah, they got a good mix of veterans and younger players. Captain Cody Sylvester coming back for another season with the Gladiators. Brought his buddy Mike McNamee with them. Played together in Germany a long time ago. Two good vets on this team lead their squad.
We're talking about Cody Sylvester. He has been named the team's captain just a week ago, as Matt Ginn named him the captain. Andrew Jarvis and Louis Boudin are the alternate captains for the Gladiators this season. But talking to Cody Sylvester in the offseason, he had a good year last year. He led the team in goals. He led the team in points. But talking to him, it felt like he wasn't satisfied with last year. He felt like he could have done a whole lot more. So I'm interested to see what number 16 does here for the Gladiators here tonight throughout the course of the season. As we certainly know, he's capable of more. He did set the Gladiators' single-season goals record just 2 years ago. We'll see number 16, Cody Sylvester, out on the ice here tonight. Atlanta getting ready for its first matchup of the season. Again, we talked about it at the top of the show. Gladiators and Grizzlies don't get together very often, as Atlanta and Utah are meeting for just the 7th time all-time. The Gladiators are 3-1-2 all-time against Utah. The Gladiators did win the most recent matchup that was in this building on January 29th of 2020. It was a 3-2 victory for the Gladiators. And you know what? His numbers in the rafters, you probably guessed who had a good night that night. 3-point night for Derek Nesbitt. Number 17 is now on our front office staff. He had 2 goals and 1 assist that night as Atlanta earned the victory. It was a 2-game set. Utah won the first night 5-2. Atlanta got the last laugh, and now tonight is the grudge match 5 years later. The Atlanta Gladiators are set to come out of the tunnel any moment from now, as we come back in 30 seconds for player intros and the starting lineup.
So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Welcome back to Atlanta, as the Grizzlies and the Gladiators are set to square off here tonight in the opening game for the Gladiators. Tonight's officiating crew, it's a 3-man crew here tonight. 1 referee, 2 linesmen. Our referee tonight is Brendan Schreider. He's wearing number 12. In black and white tonight, the 2 linesmen are Nick Klitschko wearing number 41 and Kyle Gaspari wearing number 67. Gladiators are about set to come out of the tunnel any moment from now. 8:41 left on the clock until the game starts. And now here comes Maximus, the Gladiators mascot, coming out of the tunnel sporting the specialty jersey here tonight, as the Gladiators will be wearing Gladiator-themed specialty jerseys. It's a white jersey with gold trim. It is pretty sick. And so we'll see the Gladiators wearing those jerseys here tonight. The Grizzlies are wearing a black jersey with white numbers and professional green trim. We'll see them here in just a moment.
Yeah, guy, I'm loving these white kits for the Glads tonight. These are sweet.
Those jerseys will be available for auction at the end of the night. And then the Gladiators will wear those again tomorrow. So it's been a busy week here in Atlanta. It's going to be a busy weekend, but we're having a lot of fun. As we do have some technical issues going on Flow Sports. Stand by for a moment. All right, welcome back to the show. As some of you may have noticed, we've been working pretty hard here the last couple of moments. It's our first game here in the broadcast booth here tonight, so we are experiencing some technical difficulties on Flow Sports. Heard no audio over there. And, Andrew, first lesson here in broadcasting, sometimes you just got to expect the unexpected. And maybe that might be the theme of the game here tonight, as we do have two teams playing in Utah's second game of the year, Atlanta's first game of the year, and two teams that haven't met in 5 years. That might be the case on the ice here tonight.
Got to adapt and overcome here, guy.
And so, shoot a quick message over to the Flow Sports guys. Tell them, yeah, we are working on it.
We're trying our best.
But, we're so happy to be with you all here tonight here at Gas South Arena. And it looks like a really good crowd shaping up here so far.
Yeah.
Not a lot of empty seats on that side looking down in front of me. Not a lot of empty seats in front of me either. So fans are still filing in. And the Gladiators are set to come out of the tunnel any moment from now. Let's get to the starting lineup for Utah, as we're still awaiting who the official starters are. But they should be coming out sometime soon. And the Grizzlies aren't going to hit the ice until after the Gladiators. So, that's my mistake. Let's start with Utah. So first coming out, let's start with Atlanta, excuse me. Guys, so used to saying Utah over the years. Start with Atlanta. On the ice is Brendan Less wearing number 2 for Atlanta, followed by Jack Robilotti wearing number 3. Out comes Andrew Jarvis, the alternate captain, wearing number 6, followed by number 7, Mickey Burns, as the Gladiators are coming out in numerical order. Ryan Conroy out there with Mickey Burns. Alex Young steps out of the tunnel, was acquired in a trade last season from Adirondack. Captain Cody Sylvester follows Alex Young out of the tunnel. Carson Denemy wearing number 18 right after Sylvester. Number 22, Isaac Walter comes out on the ice, although it is worth noting that number 20, Connor Galloway, is not out there. He is a scratch night due to injury. Number 22, Isaac Walter out there. Now he's followed by Riley Appelt. He would have been out there if he's wearing number 23. He's also scratched as well. Number 4, Ryan Nolan goes out there, followed by number 27, Mike McNamee. Gladiators forming a circle at center circle. Louis Boudon out there, followed by the goaltender wearing number 31, Ethan Hyder. TJ Septenfelder wearing number 35 are out there as well. He's followed by Ethan Scardino wearing number 37. Chad Nychuk wearing number 39 coming out of the tunnel. 61, Kalen Lind out there on the ice for Atlanta. Joey Cipollone wearing number 71. Dylan Carabia, his name is called, but he is inactive here tonight. Also dealing with an injury. So here comes Ryan Francis, highest number, last one out of the tunnel. Francis also acquired in a trade with Adirondack last season as the Atlanta Gladiators. Salute the crowd at center circle. Now let's get to the lineup tonight for the Utah Grizzlies. Starting at wearing number 59 is Tyler Gratton. Down the middle, number 10, Grizzlies captain Mick Messner. Followed by number 23, Reed Lebsker. Second line is number 22, Neil Shea. Number 16, Luke Manning. Followed by number 96, Ty Voigt. 28, Jack Ricketts with 26, Danny Geniev. Followed by number 77, Griffin Ness. We'll get to the rest of the starting lineups once we're done with the national anthem.
Now please remove your caps and state your hands over hearts as we honor America and all the brave men and women who served our country with the singing of the national anthem performed by Patrick Elementary. Please remain standing after the anthem for our moment of silence. Very nicely done, and thank you, Patrick Elementary. Now tonight, we'd like to pause to honor and remember 4 members of our hockey.
Tonight, we'd like to offer a moment of silence for a couple of members in the community that we have lost. Marissa Monroe sadly passed away a couple weeks ago. I'd like to extend our condolences to her and her family, and she will be missed. As the same for Kathy Maddox.
Brought unwavering support and joy to our community. Their presence in the stands and in our hearts will be deeply missed by fans, staff, and all who had the privilege of knowing them. Orca Weisblatt was a dedicated...
Same thing for Orca Weisblatt, tragically passed away over the summer. I'd like to extend our condolences to the Weisblatt family, who are members of our affiliate pipeline, an organization from Nashville to Milwaukee to here in Atlanta, for our condolences. And same for Kevin Bruder, CEO of the Utah Grizzlies, tragically passed away over the course of the summer as well. Grizzlies will be remembering Kevin Bruder all season long. We offer a moment of silence for them and their families.
Tonight's guests, please join us for a ceremonial puck drop. And dropping tonight's puck is Lindsay and Joe Gilreath. Make some noise for those two. Delivering tonight's game puck from Chromebook Rookie Sandy Springs,
Well, set to drop the puck here in Atlanta for game number 1 of the new season. Expectations are high for both clubs. Let's get back to Utah's lineup, as I was talking about before. The thing is in your first day of the job, you think you get more time than you do. Even though you got the timesheet, there's been a lot going on throughout the course of the afternoon, so we do apologize. Seems a bit disorganized here today, but it's a learning curve. We're going to find that out throughout the course of the year. So, fourth line for Utah, John Jalot, wearing number 24, alongside number 11, Evan Friesen. On the blue line, number 7, Garrett Pike with number 42, Christian Felton, with Luke Salem wearing number 6 with number 25, Luke Lemaster, number 8, Avery Winslow with number 5, Colby Enns. Grizzlies coaching staff is John Mechanic, the head coach. The assistant coach is Ryan Anderson, as the other assistant is Jack Skilly for Utah. Scratches not listed on the line chart, but number 32, Dylan Wells, is in net for Utah for the first time here tonight. Puck is dropped, and away we go to start action here this season between Utah and Atlanta. Chad Nychuk dumps the puck into the glove of Wells, and he freezes. Starting goaltender for Atlanta is number 31, Ethan Hyder.
Never a bad idea there for Nychuk. Just first shift, get a puck on net. Anything can happen there. Test the goalie early and often here. Wells' first start of the year. Throw everything you got at him.
Chad Nychuk has been around the block himself. Spent some time here in Atlanta last season, 19 games to be exact, and then been a long time up in Milwaukee last season. Nychuk, 27 games in Milwaukee last year. In the neutral zone, Sylvester will bang it in around the far corner to the near side as Felton ties up McNamee in the corner, and the Grizzlies shake it loose and turn up ice. Developing 3-on-2 here. Messner flips it to the left side, back to the middle for Messner. Quick shot off the shoulder of Hyder, and the rebound is overskated by Pike. Puck bumbling in front of Hyder. Defenseman in front will tap it to the netminder, and he will cover. But that is a dangerous situation for the Gladiators. I don't think there's a more dangerous player on the ice right now than number 7 in black. Garrett Pike had 2 goals last night, matching his total in the ECHL from last year in just one night in Greenville.
Yeah, great save from Hyder there. 3-on-2 developing for Utah. Puck gets to the middle. Hyder stands tall, reads the play perfectly, makes a great shoulder save.
Face off to the left of Hyder. Out comes the line for Louis Boudon. Out there with Kalen Lind and Ryan Francis. Looks like Boudon's going to get tossed out of the dot, so it is going to be Kalen Lind, the rookie, taking it against Luke Manning and winning it for Atlanta. Here Lind tries to take it on the fly at the blue line, gets stymied there by Manning, but the Gladiators are able to push the narrative and dig their way deep into the attacking zone. On the far side, Lind works it up high to the left side for Jarvis, puts it on goal, where it's sticked away by Wells. Francis turns and shoots. Another blocker save there for Wells. Behind the net, the Gladiators keep possession. Boudon being pestered down in the corner by Colby Enns, the defenseman for Utah. Gladiators work it from low to high. Jarvis at the left point dishes it to the middle. Francis holds and shoots, and it goes in and out of the glove of Wells. Puck plops over on the far side where it's scooped up by Neil Shea. Shea on the left wing hammers it off the end wall and rotates it up to the right point for Lemaster. Luke Lemaster did not play last night, which was his birthday. So he got sat on his birthday, and now he gets into the lineup here tonight for Utah. Lemaster, cross ice. Grizzlies take a shot. It's blocked by Francis and goes into the glove of Hyder. Stoppage here with 18-13 in the first period.
A lot of great zone time for that Gladiators second line on that last shift there with Lynn, Boudon, and Francis. Great cycle work down low, working it up to the D and moving the puck all around.
Gladiators and Grizzlies doing battle here tonight. They'll play again tomorrow on Sunday afternoon, 3:10 start time for that game. We'll have it for you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. There's a one-timer by Pike after the Grizzlies win an offensive zone faceoff, but right there to block it is Carson Denemy, and could be a big night for Denemy. He is 1 point away from his 100th pro point. See if he can get that here tonight in the season opener. Got a board battle over on the far side half wall of the Gladiators zone. Hyder looking to his right, sees the puck go down below the goal line. Players converge there. Robilotti checks a Grizzly down at the end wall. A couple players take a spill. Evan Friesen goes down, but he's able to pick it up and leave it for a trailer. But the Gladiators are able to get there and get it to the line, but not quite out. Atlanta Trying to possess the puck here cleanly, but the Grizzlies doing a little bit of smothering, making it difficult for Atlanta. Puck is shaken down on the far wall again. And here is Denemy leaving it for Conroy as the Denemy line goes off to the bench. And on comes a fresh one. Mickey Burns out there with Joey Cipollone and Ryan Nolan. Here is Nolan from the right side, passing it to the left. Taking it in stride is Cipollone. Tries to put it on goal, but it goes off the stick of Enns. Does stay in the attacking zone. Good hold there at the right point by Furiolo. Swings it from high to low. Gladiators throw a check. Out in front is Nolan. Couple of quick tries. Sticked away by Wells. And the Grizzlies will survive. That was easily the Gladiators' best chance of the night. But here comes Utah. 2-on-1. Ness takes a shot. It's blocked. Out in front by Nychuk. Oh, none of these teams are giving us any chance to breathe here. Action at both ends.
Up and down the ice here, guy.
That was a really good chance for both squads. Play simmering down a bit as the puck jumbles to the center zone. And it'll be backhanded in by Cipollone, and that line will go off for a well-deserved change. 16-18 left in the first period. No score here from Gas South Arena in Duluth, Georgia. Gladiators take it in stride. It's Jarvis over the red line, flips it up ahead. Dangling there with Scardina, but he has it knifed away by a Grizzly. That was Tyler Gratton, although Scardina throws a big check on Gratton in the neutral zone and gets it back for Atlanta. Puck rolls down below the goal line to the right of Hyder. Flipped up into the air. A couple guys didn't know where it was, one on either side. And Atlanta finally gets a piece of it and clears it down the length of the ice. That'll be an icing. And we'll go back down near Hyder.
Yeah, guy, I want to go back to that shift by this Atlanta fourth line. Great setup from Cipollone in the corner to set up Nolan out front there. Great work by that fourth line, working the puck below, down below the dots, below the goal line, and getting a grade A opportunity there.
And one thing that Matt Ginn did mention when we were talking to him, and it was kind of echoed by the players as well, is that the Gladiators want to be a team that's tough to play against. And you saw a little bit there. They're very tenacious and a little bit smothering in a way, not backing away from any loose pucks or any opportunities. Sylvester trying to creep out of his own end. Speeders the puck a little bit, gets it to the red line, and an errant pass by Gratton hits a leg. And now Pike will have to go back deep in his own end to retrieve. Pike to the right side for Lebster. Acquired in a trade last season for Utah. Been a really good forward for the Grizzlies in his time there. Conroy gains the attacking zone. Flips to the left side for Lynn. Has a trailer for a shot. That's sticked away by Wells. Louis Boudon was the shot taker. Now the puck comes free to Lynn. Cycles from low to high. Feeds Robillati for a one-timer that's kicked away by Wells. Puck squeaks over to the right side. Robillati pinches down, keeps the play alive. Centering feed skate to stick, and Conroy fires it off the end wall. Stays in play.
What a pass by Lind in the slot there, kicking it with his skate, deflecting it right onto Conroy's tape for a grade A opportunity.
That was incredible. Grizzlies try and spring Shea for a home run pass. Robillati boxes him off the puck. Shea's lost his stick. He'll have to go back to get it. Puck stays in the Gladiators zone, and banging it off a leg and out of play was Luke Salem, the defenseman for Utah.
Another block shot for Denemy there, out top there.
5:34 gone by in the first period. Shot count reads 5-3 in favor of Atlanta. And it seems like both teams getting some really good action. I don't think we're going to stay tied for long.
No, I don't believe so, Guy. Both these teams obviously haven't played each other in a long time. Just starting to feel each other out here in these first couple minutes.
I think the only thing that's keeping it a scoreless game are the two goaltenders, both on an AHL contract for their respective clubs, as Ethan Hyder is on a contract with Milwaukee, Dylan Wells with the Tucson Roadrunners. Centering feed goes off the stick of Walter in front. Puck is shaken down, and the Grizzlies go up ice. Moving forward for Utah is John Jalot. Flips it to the end wall. Gladiators are able to wheel it free. Furiolo charges up ahead, gains the attacking zone, brings it to Denemy, puts it on goal. Wells will direct it to the near corner. Behind the net, Gladiators have it. They'll rotate up to the left point for Furiolo. Cross ice for a one-timer. Goes off the leg of Jalot. Grizzlies with the puck will scurry out of their own end. Friesen working with Lebster down the near side. They'll burrow their way to the goal line. Gladiators will send a dart along the right wing. Now skating forward is Nolan. Darts to the right side, takes a quick shot. Again, another save by Wells. Nolan on the rebound, tries to throw it to anybody. waiting in the slot, but nobody home, and it goes back down to Hyder. Both teams make a change. Swooping along the left side is Conroy with a lot of speed. Gains the attacking zone, fires it around the horn to the right side as a man was pinching down for Atlanta. Loose puck in the far corner. Grizzlies come away with it. Working up ice is Jack Ricketts. Gains the red line, and now Gladiator blue. Pelts it to the right corner for Felton. Behind the net, tries to slow down, although Mickey Burns didn't give him any time to do so. Gladiators try and move up ice on a breakout. Robilotti, the defenseman, tries to go cross ice to Nolan. Tapped off his stick. He goes off for a change. Now Felton drops it back for Ricketts. Spins to his forehand, and now on his backhand, leaves it for a trailer. Shot goes wide of the net. And out to center. Into wide open space is Sylvester. Left circle shot, sky high, and into the netting. Horn stops with 12:16 left on the clock. Fast-paced first period. We're back after a couple of words from our local sponsors.
Taking hold of the game.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh.
Welcome back to Gas South Arena. Scoreless game so far, 12:16 left in the first period. A lot of back and forth action up and down the ice, Andrew, but both goaltenders holding firm.
Yeah, Wells and Hyder, both goalies on AHL contracts, were with NHL clubs in training camp here. Both proven why they're on AHL contracts so far.
Dylan Wells with impressive showing so far. Gladiators have 9 shots on goal. The Grizzlies, just 2. So Atlanta has really been pushing the narrative as of late. Face off to the right of Wells. McNamee will take it for Atlanta, playing in his first game in about 4 years. Had retired. Last game came on January 31st of 2021 with Greenville. Decided he was done. Finished with the game. Instead, pursues a music career. Goes off and coaches at his alma mater, Carleton, and then decides, you know what? I've got the itch. I'm back. He's out there on the ice right now for Atlanta. The shot is taken from the Gladiators' blue line, knifed away by Hyder. I think that's the Grizzlies' first shot in at least 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, Atlanta's doing a great job of keeping everything to the outside in their zone here. Utah's only getting shots from the point, outside the dots. That's how you want to keep it. Let Hyder see them, make that first save.
For those of you who are watching on YouTube, we are working on some audio issues. So please stand by. We're trying to get that all taken care of. You know, go figure. You go through the course of the summer, things get shuffled around a little bit. Cables go bad. You never know what it could be, and so we're trying to troubleshoot on the fly. So we do appreciate your patience here. Puck rolls in on Wells. He covers with 11:42 left on the first period clock. As this game, it's a little bit of a slowdown with a few whistles back to back. Out there on the ice right now is the line of Kalen Lind with Ryan Francis and Louis Boudon. Boudon, the alternate captain, will take the face-off against Grizzlies captain Mick Messner. Face-off on the near circle. That's a tie-up right now. Puck is jabbed to the wall, and coming away with it is Francis. Tries to fend off the pressure from Salem. Bodies tumble below the goal line, but Boudon has it. On his forehand, looks for a man in the middle, instead dishes it to the left point for Jarvis. Across he goes to Les. Back to Jarvis, puts it towards the goal, blocked in front. The rebound is there for Lind. Can't get a shot away. Francis was there to retrieve it, and now it's a type in the corner. Lind's stick is broken, has to go off to get a new one, and the Grizzlies, LeMaster has possession, and he'll wait things out. It was a good run of possession time there for the Gladiators, but nothing forthcoming. Good defensive stand by the Grizzlies.
Just unlucky with Linda breaking his stick there with an opportunity.
Scoreless game with 10:56 left in the first. Voigt moves down the right side, goes around the net for a wraparound, and scores. Ty Voigt gets the lucky bounce, goes off a man in front into the back of the net, and Utah, 9 minutes, 10 seconds in, have the first goal.
Voigt with his second goal in as many games here for Utah. Just a quick wraparound, fake like he's going to take the shot on the outside, skate around the net, wrap it around off Hyder's pad and in. Hyder couldn't get side to side there fast enough. The Glads are down 1-0 here.
Ty Voigt now has 2 goals in his last 2 games, although it is worth noting that Voigt did score an empty net goal last night, but you take him any which way you can get him. He is now tied for the Grizzlies' team leading goals with 2 with Garrett Pike. Looks like it will be unassisted to Ty Voigt, so Utah takes a 1-0 lead. They did trail last night in Greenville, but then ended up scoring 3 unanswered to win. So now the Gladiators playing from behind. We'll see what they can do here and tie it up. Puck loose in the neutral zone. Grizzlies have it. Stymied at the blue line by Isaac Walter. He's shaken down, and moving down the near side is Manning. Puck comes away from him, and so now Robillati has to pelt it to the neutral zone, hits a skate. Gladiators chuck it cross site. Skating into it is Young. He has it knifed away by Colby Enns. Now upwards goes Neil Shea. Now dart across the blue line, look for a trailer. Flubbing on the shot was Friesen, and now trying to take advantage is Mickey Burns. With speed, Burns sauces it below the goal line. Wells out to play it. Burns putting on pressure. Wells plays it to the far half wall. We're getting boxed up there is Avery Winslow, the defenseman for Utah. Puck rolls around the near side. Puck leaks over to Friesen. He gets in a jumble with Cipollone. Is forced to dump it down, but looks like we have a whistle here with 9:35 left in the first. Faceoff will come back down to the Grizzlies zone. Looks like that goal scored by Ty Voigt was assisted by Christian Felton and Luke Salem. So I guess they just didn't announce it over the PA. But as we mentioned before, Voigt does have 2 goals in his last 2 games to open the season. Gladiators in the offensive zone. Draw tip out in front by Sylvester. And getting a piece of it is Wells. It's just enough to slow things down and get a whistle with 9:29 left in the first. Gives us a timeout on the ice. We'll take one as well. We are back in 45 seconds here at Gas South Arena, where the Grizzlies lead the Gladiators 1-0.
Oh, blimey. You've led us astray again.
But these maps are so tricky.
I've got your treasure.
Do tell, Daddy.
Play Keno and win money every 3.5 minutes. Kevin, give the signal. You pick 10 numbers. Fire! Then Keno picks 20.
The more we be matching,
The more we be winning! And now we feast!
Or not. Win up to $100,000 every 3.5 minutes playing Keno.
Well, we appreciate everybody's patience on Flow Sports. We did experience some technical difficulties earlier in the night. Big props to our crew here at Gas South Arena. They got us all taken care of, as we're now live on Flow Sports with audio. So this is great. I'm a very happy human right now here at Gas South Arena. What has been a good game so far, although the Gladiators do surrender the first goal to Ty Voigt. Comes blazing down the right side, goes around the net, looking for the wraparound. I believe it hit a Gladiator stick out in front, but either way, it ends up in the back of the net. Utah gets the score.
Yeah, unlucky bounce for the Glads there. I feel like they've been outplaying Utah for most of this game so far. Gladiators leading in shots on goal, 11-4 over Utah.
Face off to the right of Dylan Wells, won by the Gladiators. Chad Nychuk flings it cross ice through the crease. Nobody home to tap it in, and the Grizzlies move up in a 3-on-1. Down the left side, diving down to make a play is Firiolo. It was John Jalot who had a lot of room to roam, but it evaporated quickly. Excellent play by the Army product. Here is Furiolo again. Pushes it to the left wing. Upwards goes McNamee. Tries to sachet by LeMaster. Able to dig his way into the near corner. Bodies converge. Puck rolls around the net. Centering feed by Scardina. He was looking for Sylvester, and I think Wells got a stick on it. Turnover here for Utah. Scardina's got it back. Tries to put it on net, but a high riser misses the cage. Let's go Glads chant here firing up. A lot of fans here in attendance at Gas South Arena. Not a lot of empty seats. Grizzlies float it into the neutral zone. Simmers down in front of Boudon, and we get a whistle here. As I believe it was an offside. So, 8:31 left in the first period. Gladiators playing in front of an impressive crowd here tonight. They're also playing with a little bit of mojo. The Gladiators have been really good in season openers and home openers ever since the 2020 season in which the Gladiators did not play. In fact, ever since the Gladiators did not play in that 2020-2021 season, they've been undefeated in home openers. Puck again, diagonally angled in on Wells. He'll cover. He's now seen 12 shots so far here tonight, and he stopped all of them. Not as much of a heavy workload for Ethan Hyder over the last few minutes. Grizzlies just one goal on 4 shots. Face off to the left of Wells. Last night it was Dryden McKay for Utah. Wells gets the nod. It's his first start of the year. Puck below the goal line, handled by Felton. He's able to escape the pressure from Boudon, push it to the right wing for Griffin Ness. Ness around the boards. Has an open man on the far corner. He gets swarmed by 3 Gladiators. Now Boudon skates through center. Played last season in Sweden, returning to North America. Played 2 seasons with the Iowa Heartlanders. And as Boudon, an excellent forward in his own right, will head to the bench. Lynn, fresh off, moving down the left wing, looks to center for Francis. Pass a bit behind, Grizzlies clear. Whose puck comes to Robolati, who fires it into the right pad of Wells, who kicks it to the neutral zone. Well, the Gladiators getting some really good looks, just have not been able to solve Wells. Turnover here in front of Hyder, in close quarters was a Grizzly. He wasn't able to put it in. That was Danny Geniev. And the Gladiators able to escape any pressure, although Hyder gets checked by a man out in front. That's cause for all the commotion. That was Grattan who collided with Hyder behind the play. Fans want a penalty. They're not going to get it. 7:13 left in the first period. Grizzlies lead 1-0, but no penalties called so far. Colby Enns fires one off the Gladiator end wall. Atlanta trying to get good puck possession here. Grizzlies able to slam it down into the near corner for a moment. Atlanta able to escape potential 3-on-2 developing. Flying down the right wing, look to center, and they just couldn't get a piece of it. It was Denemy in front, moving with Walter and Young. A lot of speed there, but just couldn't connect on the finishing touch. 6:36 left in the first period. Utah leads 1-0 off of Ty Voigt's second of the year. Puck goes behind Wells. It'll be scooped up by Salem. He'll plug it up ahead, goes off the stick of Neil Shea. He'll chase it over into the far corner, where the Gladiators get a touch. Nolan working in the defensive zone, tries to get it out for Atlanta. Utah steals it away, tries to slam it to the middle for Shea. Instead, puck is flagged down in front of Hyder, bounces in on the second-year netminder, and he'll freeze.
Some great sticks from the Gladiators there in their own zone. Not letting any high-quality shots get through. A couple block shots there, and that one just dribbles in on Hyder, and he's able to get a good cover here, force a whistle, get a change.
I feel like while the Gladiators have had some really good chances offensively here tonight, puck possession, I think, could be a little bit better for them. Seems like, I can't speak too much about the ice conditions. Haven't been down at ice level here today, but it has been very warm in the building.
Yep.
I know you got jacket off. I'm about ready to take mine off as well. It's very hot in here.
A couple tough turnovers for the Gladiators in their own zone that allowed Utah to have more possession.
Through the neutral zone is Burns. Puck glanced off of his stick, picked up by Grattan. Lays it back to Garrett Pike on an AHL deal with Colorado. Coming off a great night last night where he had 2 goals. And one of those was the game winner. Home run pass for Burns goes astray. No icing as Wells out to touch it. Able to return it to Pike. who wheels it over to Grattan in the near corner. Open ice in the neutral zone, sees it, and hacks it off the stick of Friesen into the Gladiator zone. 5:26 left in the first period. Grizzlies lead 1-0. Takeaway at the Gladiators' blue line. Centering feed, looking for Genev. He's got it. Right circle. A lot of room to shoot. And Hyder makes a shoulder save to keep the puck out of the net. Gladiators give him a lot of space and time. Genev over to the near side. Ness centers, looking for Ricketts. And it just jumped over his stick out to the neutral zone. Gladiators able to survive, but only for a moment. Utah coming right back in, courtesy of Ricketts. Gladiators burst to the neutral zone. It's Francis, shut down by Ness. Ryan Francis could be a lethal weapon for the Gladiators this season. Had 3 goals in 6 games for coming over in a deadline deal with Adirondack. Meanwhile, Salem goes to work in the far corner, tries to knife his way to Hyder. Gladiators poke it away, and moving up ice is Nychuk. He's shut down at the red line. Puck is catapulted deep below the Gladiator goal line. Ness gets a touch on it. Picked up by Ricketts, and the Gladiators again able to escape. A lot of room to roam here for Francis. Closing in on him is Felton. Francis tries to backhand it to Boudon, the trailer, but that pass did not connect. Good defensive play for Utah. 4 minutes left in the first period. Grizzlies lead 1-0. Wells able to poke it over to Felton. Stretch pass for Grattan does not connect. And now from the red line, the Gladiators will wind it in. Defensive change happening here as on comes Robilotti and Conroy. Now here's a big check by Robilotti on Grattan. That's probably a little bit of payback for what Grattan did to Hyder earlier. As Young tries to flag down a puck in the neutral zone. It's checked at the blue line, and the puck goes to Utah. Cross ice. Working with it is Lebster. Burns tries to shrug him off the puck, but the Grizzlies hold firm. Lebster to the middle. Puck pinballs around a bit, and the Gladiators will clear. Burns chasing after it. First one there is ends for Utah. He turns it over to Burns. Working there defensively is Winslow for Utah to pin up Burns in the near corner. Time winding down on period 1. Grizzlies able to come away with the puck. Manning chips it over, takes a check. He is able to get it to Enns, who dumps it down to Hyder. Reverse it to the far side. Hitting there is Nychuk. Loose puck in the neutral zone. Grizzlies plug it in. Over in the far corner it is Nychuk again. Connecting on the pass to Cipolone. It's a floater from Cipolo to the opposite blue line. Gladiators can't quite get a hand on it, but Furiolo able to dump it into the opposite corner. From the far side, centering feed does not work out for the Gladiators. And so behind the net go the Grizzlies, and they'll swoop it through the neutral zone and down. No icing.
Not sure how that is an icing there, guy.
Hyder sure thought it was and had me convinced as well. Puck floats over to Wells. He's able to direct it over to the near side, but not out. It's a long shot by Jarvis. Goes into the glove of Wells. And time stops with 1:46 left in the first.
Gladiators having a little bit of trouble getting out of their own zone here, guy. A lot of turnovers in the neutral zone. Trying to do a little bit too much here. Just got to simplify it.
I think the biggest thing that we might have to talk about there in the first intermission is puck control.
Yeah.
And puck possession. As I think the Gladiators have the right idea when it comes to the breakout, but
just can't connect.
They just can't find a way to execute. Offensive zone face-off. Won by Utah. Pike holds firm after being checked by a Gladiator. Puck up for grabs in the neutral zone. Coming away with it is Francis. We'll spill it back to Jarvis, who is able to find an open man in less. The former Adirondack Thunder member tries to dump it in, goes off a stick and out of play on the far side. Can we talk? Oh, go ahead.
Sorry about that, guy. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I've been really impressed with the second line here for the Gladiators, Lind, Francis, and Boudon. A lot of great O-zone possession. One slip up in their own zone. Lind had a turnover in his zone, but young player, first professional game. You're going to have growing pains like that with the young player, but I think he brings so much offensively, and that line's had a couple of great chances that I love what they're doing so far.
Yeah, for Kalen Lind, he's playing in his first ECHL game. Did get one game in with the Milwaukee Admirals last year, although Potato, still very fresh to professional hockey. Spent several years in the WHL. He's a very good player there. In fact, he's a second-round pick of the Nashville Predators, was assigned by Nashville from Milwaukee to Atlanta a week ago. Gladiators on the forecheck, trying to get the puck away off the boards on the near side. They do, but pass escapes. Conroy has to give chase, working with Robilotti there. Utah on the attack. Ricketts able to chip it down below the goal line. Gladiators get a touch on it and get it out to the neutral zone. Genev spars with Nolan at center circle. The Grizzly, the victor. He slams it down near Hyder, who touches it to a trailer. Final 25 seconds here in the first period. Gladiators trying to get something on the board here for their efforts. Over in the far corner, Grizzlies have it. Pike tries to throw it to the near side. Gets caught up in a pile of bodies. And so now here's Grattan trying to dig it free. Burns there for Atlanta. Clock winding down. 3 seconds, 2 and 1. And that'll do it for period 1 for Atlanta here in the new season. Well, may only be one goal on the board here so far tonight, but we've got a lot to talk about in the first intermission report, as it's Utah with a 1-0 lead through 20. Grizzlies get their first lead first for the first time this season. Trailed early last night in Greenville, scored 3 unanswered to win. Gladiators are looking for their first goal of the season. Here in the first intermission report, we'll recap the first period, talk about who on the Gladiators team roster could be that guy to break the deadlock for Atlanta, and preview the second period. A whole lot more. A lot of action coming up next here from Gas South Arena. But first, let's take a moment to hear a word from our local sponsors.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh.
Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance. But at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track.
We don't just straighten you out, we empower you. We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
We even use lasers.
Fucking lasers!
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Welcome back to Duluth, Georgia. We're through 20 minutes of play on the young season for the Gladiators. It is the visitor, the Utah Grizzlies, that has the 1-0 lead through 20 minutes of play. Guy Chiarenza joined by Andrew Fleming here tonight. Fun first period for the Gladiators, although doesn't necessarily reflect all too well on the box score, but very good chances for Atlanta to start.
Yeah, yes, Guy. My bet on that. I thought that the second line for Atlanta had a great first period. Lind, Boudon, and Francis. A lot of ozone possession time. A lot of grade A scoring opportunities. Just not able to capitalize on any of them.
Yeah, the Gladiators have had their chances. Let's get to the first period recap here. The lone goal scored for Utah comes from Ty Voigt. It's his second goal of the season, but it is his first goal that was scored 5-on-5, and it wasn't into an empty net, as last night he did score an empty net goal, which was his first goal of the season. Tonight, he scores his second of the year, now ties Garrett Pike for the team lead in that department, and Utah has the 1-0 lead. Andrew, it was just one of those plays where with 9:10 left in the first period, it's a lot of speed showed by Voigt, and he's shown that in the past as he is an ECHL veteran, but he just rolls down the right wing, goes around the net, sees if he can get a wraparound, and gets a lucky bounce. I think it hit a stick out in front in the blue paint. Hyder couldn't get across either way. Puck ends up in the back of the net. Bad beat for the Gladiators, but a good play for the Grizzlies. You have to tip your cap there.
Yeah, just a bad bounce for the Gladiators. You got to forget about it, move on. I mean, they're up 14-6 in shots on goal here, the Glads. You just got to keep playing your game. I liked what the Gladiators did in the first period here. A lot of good ozone possession time. A lot of good cycling down low below the circles, getting opportunities that way, working it up high to the D. They were moving it all around the offensive zone, just snapping it around.
Yeah, the Gladiators had some really good looks there in the first period, but they do come up empty-handed. And to kind of show a little bit that Atlanta is working hard in the offensive zone, shot count 14-6 in favor of Atlanta. So the Grizzlies, 1 goal on 6 shots, and I don't know if you can really blame Hyder all that much, as it was a play by Utah where they just used their speed to their advantage. Get a little bit of unlucky bounce there as well. Not going to blame that one on Hyder. It has been a bit of a goaltending duel here so far tonight, as Dylan Wells has stopped 14 of 14 for Utah here in the first period. He is making his first start on the young season. He's on an AHL contract with the Tucson Roadrunners. Got in 10 AHL games last season with Tucson, as he did spend the rest of the season with Allen in the ECHL in 20 games there. 7-9-3 record. 3.8 goals against average and an .896 save percentage. So not the greatest year in the ECHL last year for Wells, but it's off to a good start here so far tonight.
Yeah, Wells is a vet. Drafted back in 2016 by the Oilers. Bounced around AHL, ECHL a little bit, but I mean, he's showing up tonight here against the Gladiators. 14 saves on 14 shots here in the first period.
Now, the other end for Ethan Hyder, there were some times where he was tested pretty well. Gladiators, a little bit of a couple breakdowns in their own end, led to some turnovers. Utah had some very good chances, but Ethan Hyder was up to the task. He is in his second year of pro hockey, and it's his second year with the Gladiators. He's a 5th-round draft pick in the NHL by the Nashville Predators in 2019. He is also on an AHL contract with our affiliate Milwaukee. Last season, split starts with Drew DeRitter. Played in 36 games, 18-15-2 record, 3.17 goals against average, .894 save percentage. And you can't forget about the 4 shutouts for Ethan Hyder. He almost set a Gladiator single-season record, was just 1 shy of tying Jeff Jakaitis for that record. But we'll see if Hyder can build upon that this year. Again, not a lot of shots on goal for Hyder, but still very strong showing nonetheless.
Yeah, a couple high-end opportunities against Hyder here. Had a couple 3-on-2s, pucks getting to the middle of the ice, and he's able to stand tall, make big saves here.
For all of you watching, listening here tonight, I encourage you to get the Atlanta Gladiators app. Now, my first day on the job, in fact, my first 3 months on the job, I didn't know we had an app. And I think that's a problem because it's a very good app. So that's what I'm using right now to go through the box scores. So, ladies and gentlemen, get the Atlanta Gladiators app. I mean, it's got everything you could need and ever ask for. It's amazing. And we're having a good time so far here tonight at Gas South Arena. One thing to note before we go to another break, no penalties so far in the first period. And it looked like there were some times where there probably could have been something called, although it seemed like, for the most part, a pretty clean first period. A couple bumps here and there. I think the one instance that I'm thinking of is when Tyler Gratton got in the face of Ethan Hyder. Hyder didn't seem to like that all that much. Did seem a bit behind the play, but referees say, hey, let's let it go. And no power plays or penalty kills for either side so far here tonight. I wonder, Andrew, if in the second period we might see things open up a little bit. If the Gladiators will get some chances on the power play, maybe if they go in the penalty kill. I'm interested to see what that looks like for Atlanta here in the new season, as there are a lot of new faces in the lineup this year. We'll get to that when we come back from break, and we'll see who on the Gladiators might score Atlanta's first goal of the year. We're back in just a moment here from Gas South Arena. Utah leads it 1-0 off of Ty Voigt's second goal of the year. We're back in just a moment for the tail end of the first intermission report.
Oh, blimey. You've let us astray again.
But these maps are so tricky.
I've got your treasure.
Do tell, Daddy.
Play Keno and win money every 3.5 minutes. Kevin, give the signal. You pick 10 numbers. Fire! Then Keno picks 20.
The more we be matching,
The more we be winning!
and now we feast. Or not. Win up to $100,000 every 3.5 minutes playing Keno.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh.
Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance. But at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track. We don't just straighten you out, we empower you.
We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
We even use lasers.
Fucking lasers!
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Welcome back to the first intermission report here in Atlanta. Utah has the 1-0 lead through 20 minutes of play. Gladiators do lead the shot count 14-16, but Ty Voigt's second goal of the year is the difference maker so far for Utah. They have the edge heading into the second period of play. But as we talked about before we went to break, Andrew, a lot to like there for the Gladiators. Just need to find a way to capitalize. I think there's a lot of big names on the roster that can put the puck in the back of the net. They've got 40 minutes to do so. I think first and foremost, you look to your leaders. You look to Cody Sylvester, the captain, as Sylvester did lead the team in goals and assists last season, as Sylvester finished the year with 24 goals and 23 assists for 47 points in 65 games. And it seems like Cody Sylvester playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder this season. He's got the C now. It's his team, but didn't feel like last season was his best effort put forward and his best result. And so talking to him in the offseason, felt like he could do a whole lot more this year. Looked a little bit jumpy out there. Looked like he was getting some good chances. Was a big net front presence on a couple of plays there. Maybe it could be Sylvester that gets the first goal of the game. What are your thoughts on him so far?
Yeah, I thought Sylvester's been great playing on that line with McNamee and Scardina. A couple good opportunities there. I can remember a couple out of the corner, Scardina, a nice one-timer on net there. And I've liked McNamee in his first game back. First game back in a couple of years. You got to think there are going to be some nerves. Guy hasn't played in a couple of years. Older guy, good veteran presence. I've liked what I've seen from McNamee so far in this first period.
You know, it's an interesting thing about McNamee. So he's 32 years old, played with Cody Sylvester in Europe. That's how the two know each other. And so when McNamee decided he was going to retire 4 years ago in 2021, it was actually Cody Sylvester that kind of recruited him back here to Atlanta, working with Coach Ginn, trying to get McNamee back into the game. And so McNamee leaves professional hockey, decides he's going to pursue a music career. So he starts a band called Boston Levi. Go check it out. I think it's excellent. I think it's fantastic. I really like his work. And the thing for McNamee is got the hockey itch. Decided he wanted back into the game. As over the course of those 4 years, he was a assistant coach at Carleton University. Got the itch to get back into the game, and so now here he is. But the interesting thing about talking to him is he just wants to focus on hockey. He doesn't want to talk about the music career. He just wants to focus on hockey, and he's definitely got that drive. He's got that mindset, and as you mentioned, Andrew, in the first period, looked like he hadn't missed a beat in 4 years.
Yeah.
He's back out there on the ice, but the most interesting thing of all is that Mike McNamee, with now 23 games of professional experience, started the year with 22, under the 25-game threshold to qualify as a player in this league that's not a veteran or a rookie. Mike McNamee, at 32 years old, is a rookie in the ECHL. So we might see if McNamee can win Rookie of the Year award, and if he does, wouldn't that be some story?
I think that would be awesome, guy.
But a very solid first period there from McNamee and the crew. Also like what Ethan Scardino was doing there, and you mentioned that line. That was probably the most consistent line that we saw through the course of training camp. Liked them a lot during the intra-squad game. Liked them a lot through all the practices, as it seemed like Matt Ginn and Coach Zach Fennell really liked that line from the start, and they've kept them ever since. They've been together for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, guy, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That line clicked immediately.
And so they've quickly developed a lot of chemistry together as the Gladiators still looking for their first goal of the night. I really like what Ryan Francis was doing on that line with Louis Boudon, and as you mentioned before, the rookie Kalen Lind. Francis only played in 6 games last season after coming over in a trade from Adirondack. Did score 3 goals in those 6 games. Did suffer an injury that ended his season last year, but he's been playing a lot of jump, a lot of skip, a lot of hop in his step. I think that Ryan Francis could be a big name for the Gladiators here this season. He had some really good chances there in the first period.
Yeah, Francis playing with another young guy, Lind. Those 2 guys on the wings can fly. I mean, we saw it. Francis coming down the side, a lot of space, taking it to the net. If he can utilize his speed with both him and Lind, they're going to burn a lot of D-men and get a lot of grade A opportunities here, guy.
But all in all, we talk about the forward group. This is a team with size, speed, grit, and they can score as well. But let's not forget about the defensemen. We saw a lot of really good plays where defensemen picked up the puck at the blue line, tried to chip in, pinch offensively, and put shots on goal. I think Jack Robilotti had a really good first period for Atlanta. A lot of chances for him. He's not scared to put the puck on net.
No, neither him or Conroy. Conroy, multiple times, grabbing the puck in his own zone, skating it up through the neutral, either gaining the blue line with possession or just chipping it deep for his forwards to go get. I loved what I saw from Conroy as well.
And so based off of Jack Robilotti's stats from college and last season in 8 games with Bloomington where he had 1 assist, you'd think that he's more of a defensive defenseman, but when talking to him, said, I kind of don't really think of myself as a defensive defenseman. I think of myself more as a two-way defender. We're seeing a lot of that here tonight. He's playing with a lot of confidence. And you mentioned Ryan Conroy. This is a guy that I think could replace the role that Derek Topatic had in years past for Atlanta, as Topatic did retire in the offseason. Yeah, so he has stepped away from professional hockey, but Gladiators go out, pick up Ryan Conroy for future considerations of all things. I think this guy is going to be a really good player for Atlanta. 29 points in 71 games last season. Good offensive defenseman. We've seen his skills so far through the first period. And so that gets a lay of the land for us. A lot of guys on the Gladiators roster that can score, put up 14 shots in 1 period. If you're head coach Matt Ginn and assistant coach Zach Fennell, you can't be too unhappy about that. Gladiators getting good chances, just about execution. When we come back here to Atlanta, we'll have second period action. That concludes the first intermission report as the Utah Grizzlies lead 1-0 through 20 minutes of play. We're back.
So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Welcome back here to Duluth, Georgia, to Gas South Arena, home of the Atlanta Gladiators. This has been the first and only home for the Gladiators since they first started playing professional hockey here after transferring over from Mobile, Alabama as the Mystics. Gladiators have played here since 2003. This is the 22nd season of Gladiators hockey, and no, University of Utah math is not off. The Gladiators did not play in the 2020-2021 season, so therefore, we're a year back. So 23 years of Gladiators in Atlanta, 22 seasons. One night here tonight to kick it all off, the 72-game schedule. Utah leads 1-0 through 20. Gladiators in front of a very, very good and very filled-out home crowd, wearing white jerseys with gold trim, Gladiator-themed inspired. We'll skate from left to right here in the second period, while the Grizzlies wearing black jerseys with white numbers and professional green trim. We'll skate from right to left in period 2. Our officiating crew here tonight, Brendan Schreider is the referee wearing number 12. The linesmen are Nick Klitschko wearing number 41 and Kyle Gaspari wearing number 67. Three-man crew here tonight. Been a bit of a light workload for those three. No penalties called in the first. Mike McNamee with Cody Sylvester and Easton Scardina, with Nychuk and Furiolo are the 5 to start the second period for Atlanta. For the Grizzlies, it is going to be Genev to take the face-off with Felton, Ricketts, Pike, and Ness. Utah wins the ensuing face-off to start the second period. Gladiators quickly get a steal. Working down deep is McNamee. Able to jab it to Sylvester behind the cage, but Utah able to poke it over to the near side half wall, where Scardina tries to push the narrative deeper. Puck is pinned up against the boards. 3 Gladiators, 4 Grizzlies there. Scardina able to escape, centers for a quick shot, score! It's Anthony Furiolo! The first goal of the year for Atlanta has tied it at 1.
That play starts with Nychuk on a great pinch down the right wall there. Pinches down, ties it up. Scardina comes in, grabs it. Furiolo comes down a little bit from his point. Great pass to the middle from Scardina. Furiolo throws it 5-hole. We're tied here in Atlanta, folks.
The hard work along the boards creates the play that sets up Furiolo for his first goal of the year and his 9th goal in professional hockey. Furiolo had 4 goals and 15 assists for 19 points in 49 games last year. 27 seconds into period 2, Anthony Furiolo has tied the game.
I don't think you could have asked for a better start to the second period there, guy.
Couldn't have drawn it up any better. The fans are back into it. Not like they ever were out, but now they've got something to cheer about. And Lind is dragged down by Voigt off the fresh face-off. No call there.
Still I'm not wearing the stripes tonight, guy, but I might have called one there.
Well, it's up for interpretation. We don't get paid to make those decisions. We just get paid to talk about it. Loose puck. What a save by Hyder. Diving out to deny Winslow right at the goal line. Lind able to tap it down. Wells will get a piece of it. On the forecheck, it's Francis. Has a man down low, centering feed. Inballs off a stick. Turning and shooting is Francis. And it goes just high enough to go over the glass and into the netting for a stoppage. 1:08 into period 2. But great start for the Gladiators here in the second. Brand new game here in period 2. But a lot of talk about the goal. Let's talk about that save by Ethan Hyder. A series of saves on the near side. Grizzlies whacking away at it. Hyder diving, able to get his right shoulder onto it to keep it out of the net. Gladiators win an offensive zone face-off. Robilotti swirls it over to the far corner where Isaac Walter gets the work. Over 6th-round pick of the Nashville Predators in 2019 reverses it to the near side where a couple players get pinned up. Young shakes it free, tries to dart towards the net, and this time Utah wouldn't be fooled. Luke Lemaster makes the defensive play. Bodies come together in the near corner. Walter able to spring it over to the far corner, and the Grizzlies get it to the line, but not out. Good hold there by Conroy for a moment, but the puck leaks out into the neutral zone. I think that might have been a Gladiator on the bench. So we get a stoppage, and yeah, in the arena, they play my ad. We got a lot of commercials on the broadcast, but yeah, they're playing my feature. So this is a good opportunity for us to plug Your Call. So Your Call is a program where you can go onto the Dash Auction app and purchase to be a color commentator for a period right here with me. So you can join us here in the broadcast booth. This could be you right here with us. We want to see you this season. Those open and start on November 1st. So know Your Call this weekend, but you can come hang out with us for the rest of the regular season. Just head on over to the Dash Auction app. A lot of fun to be had. I think we picked a good weekend to kind of just keep to ourselves. A lot of technical issues to start. A lot to sort out. Felton on the left wing fires towards the net, and Hyder scoops it up and makes the save. He freezes just 2 seconds over 2 minutes gone by in period 2.
I think that save there for Hyder was a lot easier than his first one he made in this period.
Yes, it was. And good stop there for Hyder, getting into the rhythm of things here. And we are tied at 1. It's to Anthony Furiolo's first of the year. That goal is assisted by Ethan Scardina. That's his first professional point. And Chad Nychuk gets the secondary. So congratulations to Ethan Scardina. He was the one who set up the pass that found Furiolo wide open for the Gladiators' first goal of the new year. Grizzlies trying to get that one back as Mick Messner puts it on goal. Easily sticked away by Hyder to the far corner. Grizzlies with it. Pump it off the back of the net. Loose puck there for Cipollone. Second-year Gladiator. Crunched a bit by Messner. Utah with possession at their own blue line. Felton able to skitter away from Nolan. Tries to walk the blue line, but Atlanta good in coverage there. Able to force them back out to the neutral zone. Here's Felton over the red line. Tries to trickle the puck in. It creeps down below the goal line. A Grizzly is waiting there. Jania puts it to the middle, and a dangerous play there. Sylvester tried to one-time it out of the crease. Instead, it leaked onto goal to Hyder. But the Gladiators escape. Here comes Scardina. Cross ice off the stick of Ness. Good play broken up there by Griffin Ness for the Grizzlies.
Almost too many men there on the ice for the Gladiators. Smart change there.
Good catch. Here's McNamee to the middle. Save made by Wells. The rebound available for Sylvester, but couldn't get enough on it. And able to break that one up was Jack Ricketts for Utah. Through the neutral zone. Another home run pass on time for Scardina. At the Grizzlies' blue line, gets mobbed by a family of Grizzlies. I don't know what you call a group of Grizzlies.
Maybe a pack?
A pack? Maybe. We'll find out throughout the course of the weekend. Nonetheless, puck is dumped down near Wells, and the Gladiators go off for a change. Turnover here. Boudon in front, mobbed by Grizzlies. Loose puck, backhand try for Lind. Shut down by Wells.
This second line again, guy, with another grade A opportunity.
Well, they are really firing on all cylinders, and Kalen Lind has really settled into the game. Francis now digs down deep, has it poked away by Lemaster. Check thrown at the Grizzlies' blue line. Atlanta keeps possession. They'll hurl it down deep where Wells comes out to play. They'll force it to the near side. Boudon gets a stick on it, but Manning has it for Utah. They'll chip it up ahead off the stick of Shea. Working in his own end is Robolati. Keeps the puck moving to the near side for Francis. Turnover here at the blue line. Shea to the right circle. Back the other way. And Utah can't connect on the final pass. Manning hit the deck. Puck comes out to center.
Francis just made up for his own turnover there. Turned it over, trying to break out of the zone, and then tied up the man up front who didn't have a chance to get a shot on goal.
Felton down low. Quick shot there. On goal to Hyder. He's got it and freezes. All right. That's a 200-foot game for Ryan Francis. Yeah. Makes up for his mistake there. And we're still tied at 1.
Great save by Hyder there to force that whistle. Puck up top at the blue line. Down to his left, one-timer. He comes across, gobbles it up in his stomach.
5 minutes and 2 seconds gone by here in the second period. Anthony Furiolo scores 37 seconds in to tie the game at 1. Assisted by Scardina, his first professional point. and Chad Nychuk his first point of the new year. Nychuk had 5 goals and 5 assists in 19 games with the Gladiators last year. He spent a lot of the year in Milwaukee with the Admirals. And Nychuk is on an AHL contract as he's out there right now with Furiolo. And a good play there by Furiolo. Breaks up a pass from down low to the middle, intended for Friesen. Now it's Garrett Pike from deep in his own end, glancing it off a stick down behind the goal. It goes to Hyder. Accidentally muted myself there. That's a rookie mistake. It's my first pro game too. That's a rookie mistake. Behind the net is Winslow. Gains the neutral zone and from center red will bang it around to the far side. Burns there for Atlanta. Played 13 games last season. Fresh out of college for the Gladiators. Back with the squad this year. Ryan Nolan backpedals a bit. Has Andrew Jarvis sporting a really nice mustache over on the far side. I know we got a couple of good ones ourselves, but Andrew Jarvis just takes the cake. He plugs it in. Picked up again by Winslow, this time on the right side. Hammers it off the far boards. Puck leaps up into the air at center red. Messner handles down the right wing. Grizzlies captain on the backhand. Sauces it through the crease. Nobody home. And the Gladiators will clear. Well, Mick Messner, Grizzlies captain. Merrimack product. Scampers down the right wing again. On the backhand, goes around the net. Feeds it to the middle. Was looking for Gratton, but the pass behind. Grizzlies keep possession. Gratton to the middle. Grizzlies forced to the outside. Gratton in front again. Tries to take a return pass, but the Gladiators able to make a defensive stand. And clear. Messner heads off. Fresh on is Geniev. In the slot, quick shot, score. Geniev gets it to Ricketts. He gets the lead back for Utah with 12:49 left in the second.
It's a tough goal for the Gladiators to give up there. Got pinned in their zone for a bit. Cipollone was able to chip it out. Went for a change. Utah comes right back in. Brendan Less, so close to just tipping that puck away. Just slides under his blade. And it's 2-1 Utah here.
It's a game of inches. So what was a really good shift by Messner was followed up by a really good shift by Geniev and Ricketts. They are able to convert. And Utah back on the board, regains the lead. It's 2-1 Grizzlies. So for Ricketts, that is going to be his first goal of the year and his first goal in professional hockey. So big night for Jack Ricketts. He gets the Grizzlies back on the board. Atlanta trying to get it back. Down low, cuts in front. Quick shot, Sylvester. It's the outside of the cage. Had Wells beat, just couldn't find it into the back of the net. What a chance. We talked about how dangerous Sylvester can be in the intermission. On full display there. But another series of tic-tac passes, Andrew, by the Gladiators. Almost be able to convert there.
Yeah, Sylvester just right off the outside of the net there. Almost had a 2-2 game here.
Diving play by Ricketts. Puck rolls in on Hyder. He's got it with 11:59 left in the second period. The Grizzlies lead 2-1. Jack Ricketts' first professional goal, assisted by Danny Geniev. And Luke Lemaster, 7:11 into the second, has Utah back in front. It's 2-1 when we come back to Gas South Arena. ECHL hockey lives on Flow Hockey, the live streaming service of the ECHL. Catch every single Gladiators game all all the action right into your living room from wherever, whenever, on your phone, TV, tablet. Flow Sports has got you covered. Make sure you head to flowsports.com to get started today. Grizzlies lead 2-1. Atlanta sporting some very sharp specialty jerseys here tonight that will be auctioned after the game. It's a white jersey with gold numbers and a lot of gold trim. Very sharp, but kind of tough to spot from up here. The tan on white isn't doing us any favors, but some really nice jerseys. Awesome concept from Tidal Wave Sports. Face off to the left of Hyder, tied up there. We're going to do it again.
Yeah, guy, just to touch on something we talked about in the first period. Gladiators only leading by a 3-shot margin. They were up 14-6 after the first period. They're only up 17-14 in shots on goal here. Utah's been peppering Hyder in this second period so far.
Good eye. And Hyder has been very busy here in the second period. He's held firm for the most part, except for that last sequence where Ricketts scored. Turnover here, picked up by the Gladiators. Developing play, left side, back to the middle. Francis a try. Tried to whack it into the back of the net, but just went too high. Here's Boudon. Gains the top of the right circle. Spins in the high slot on his forehand. Shifts to his right. Scoops it up and ladles it down below the goal line. It is picked up there by Lind. From low to high, snapshot wide of the goal. The rebound available, but only for a moment. Wells has got it, and he melts it down. 11:22 left in the second.
Yet another great shift from this Gladiators second line. Lind, Francis, Boudon. Another, I can't tell you how many times I've said a grade A opportunity for this second line. I think they're due at this point, guy. They're going to get one.
So you think that might be the perfect line for Kalen Lind to be on? As you think you've got Louis Boudon, who's got a lot of AHL experience. You've got Ryan Francis, who's got plenty of AHL experience as well. And Kalen Lind playing in his second professional game. That's a couple of good guys to really learn from. And it looks like it's paying dividends so far here tonight. Wouldn't be surprised if that line scores here today. From the Gladiators zone, on the near side half wall, escaping is Ricketts. Centers a pass, looking for ends. From skate to stick, puck jumbles over to the far boards, and the Gladiators nip that one in the bud. Walter tries to spin it through the neutral zone, cross ice. Utah breaks it up. Ricketts wants to dump it in. Walter blocks it and turns up ice. Atlanta on the breakout as Walter bullies his way down the near side wall. Has Denemy down low. Looks to center. Broken up nicely by Jalot. There's a really good sequence there for the Walter line. They head off. Carson Denemy still out there. Now he goes off for a change. Grizzlies through the neutral zone. Puck hits a skate into open space as Robillati finishes a check on Grattan. It seems like Tyler Grattan is public enemy number 1 here in Atlanta after his confrontation with Hyder in the first period in which he bumped into the Gladiator netminder. Atlanta with it from their own end. It's Conroy. Tries to find a man up ahead. It gets blocked. It's a turnover. Messner shoots wide of the goal. I think Hyder got a touch on that one. Just enough. And the Gladiators will now get a chance of their own. In deep, it's Cipolo. Finds a man wide open on the left circle. From low to high. Nychuk down low, shoots, kicks, save Wells. The wraparound, Nychuk's got it again, gives it to Conroy. At the line, moving towards his right, feeds Nychuk to his right, from his left to his right. And now, Utah able to run out of their own end. 9:22 left in the second period, stoppage here.
Got an icing here. Couple tired Grizzlies out there. Coach Ginn sends out his first line. Try and take advantage of these tired Grizzlies here.
And that first line has been buzzing so far here tonight. Ethan Scardina with his first professional point. Gets in on the Furiolo goal. McNamee and Sylvester looking very dangerous as well. Fans getting loud here at Gas South Arena. Face off to the right of Wells. So personnel for the Gladiators is the Scardina, Sylvester, and McNamee line. The two blue liners are Nychuk and Furiolo. Face-off won by Atlanta. Nychuk from the line fires into traffic. It's blocked by Utah. And they will chip it out to Atlanta ice. Stretch pass by Nychuk is intercepted by Messner. Messner will return it to Nychuk. Nychuk, along with Kalen Lind, were assigned from Milwaukee to Atlanta last week. As a long-range shot goes into the glove of Wells from the neutral zone. He freezes with 8:55 left in period 2. So timeout on the ice. We're going to take one as well. Utah 2, Atlanta 1. We're back in a moment. First, a word from our local sponsors.
Kind of feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh. Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
The Grizzlies have the lead with 8:55 left in the second period. Back and forth affair here in Duluth, Georgia. As first it was the Grizzlies scoring Ty Voigt, 9-10 into the first period. And Christian Felton and Luke Salem gets his second goal of the year on a wraparound bid. Gladiators came roaring back 27 seconds into the second period. Anthony Furiolo gets his first of the year. Ethan Scardina, the primary assist, sets up Furiolo. That is his first point in professional hockey. Chad Nychuk, the secondary assist. But then here come the Grizzlies again, 7 minutes afterwards, as Jack Ricketts pumps it in off a feed from Danny Geniev. Luke Lemaster, the secondary assist, and Utah on that goal has taken a 2-1 lead. Gladiators back in the offensive zone, though. That McNamee line still out there, but the defensive pairing has changed. It is Brendan Less out there with Andrew Jarvis. Face off to the right of Wells. McNamee will take it against Ness and win it. From the line, Jarvis across to Less, fires it towards the goal, blocked by Felton in front. Gladiators keep it in, they chip it to the near circle. Scardina driving towards the net, wraps it around the boards to the left point for Jarvis. Surveys the scene, returns it down low, handled by McNamee, taken away by Ness. Scardina steps in to help out his teammate. Puck battle in the far corner. Puck leaks over to the right circle, and the Grizzlies will escape. They'll run it into the Gladiators zone. Quick feed to the middle. Felton turns it over. Boy, he should have just shot that puck. It's a quick feed from Ricketts to Felton. Had a lot of open space. Just made the wrong decision there.
Great back check by Cody Sylvester there to break up that play.
Grizzlies ice the puck there. So back down we go near Wells. But I've actually been really impressed with Jack Ricketts so far here tonight for Utah, as he is playing in his second professional game. Already has a goal out of it. It seems like he's not satisfied. He's ready for more. Face off to the right of Wells. Ness will take it against Boudon. Watch out for Kalen Lind here on this sequence as Boudon wins the face-off. Shot by Conroy. Stopped partially by Wells. The rebound goes to Ness. He'll sky it to the neutral zone. Plops down right at the red line. Handled by the Gladiators' Francis as he looks to get to work in deep. Pike on the takeaway. Gets it away from Francis. Grizzlies wheel it around to the near side boards and out to center ice where it's picked up by Robilotti. Kalen Lind drives it in deep. It's a stick on it as working against him defensively was Pike. Francis steps in to help out, but the Grizzlies do exit the zone. Voigt on the left wing with already a goal tonight is offside as he tried to hit a trailing pass to Geniev. 7:19 left in the second period. It feels like this game has slowed down a little bit, Andrew, but you make more mention of the shot count. It is now a margin of 1, 18-17 in favor of the Gladiators.
Yeah, Utah's been peppering Hyder a bit this period. Gladiators doing a pretty good job of keeping all the shots to the outside, low-scoring chance opportunities, but still, they were up 8 in the shot margin after the first. They're only up 1 now, getting heavily outshot in the second period.
So after surrendering the Furiolo goal early in the second period, Utah has locked back in. As in the neutral zone, it's a trip right at the red line, and no call made. They're really letting them play. Luke Manning went down. It looks like the Gladiators catch a break.
First game for the referees too here, Guy.
Puck at the end wall behind Wells. Winslow being pressured by Denemy there. Denemy has a puck off the takeaway, but Jalot will clear. Puck is batted out of the air at his own blue line by Young. Grizzlies get it back. Charging upwards is Jalot. Stick save made on him by Hyder. Around the horn it goes to LeMaster on the right side, making his season debut. Whips it around to the near corner. Handled by the Grizzlies. Salem down low, connects with Friesen. Defensively there is Furiolo. At the right point, LeMaster surveys and hammers one off the end wall. Angles to the near side for Salem. Pass below the goal line, broken up nicely by Nychuk. And he will get it to the blue line, and that should be a penalty there. Too many men in the ice. So the Grizzlies, well, that would have been a good play. It ends up being that the guy was a little late on a line change there.
Yep.
So when we come back here at Gas South Arena, we'll get our first penalty of the night. It's a power play for Atlanta as they look to try the game. Gladiators going to the power play for the first time this season, and so we'll get a good look at the unit of Sylvester,
Maximus, who is it?
Francis, McNamee, Scardina, and Nychuk. The jerseys are kind of tough to spot from up here, but that is the 5 that will open the power play for Atlanta. So we don't know much about this Atlanta power play to start, although it was dead last in the league last year. So really anything this year could be an improvement for Utah. So far this season, they have not surrendered a goal on the penalty kill. Utah doing good work, wins the faceoff and has possession. Felton with it for the Grizzlies. Utah went 1 for 1 on the penalty kill last night against Greenville. The Gladiators looking to break their perfect mark. Francis takes it in stride, gains the attacking zone, swings it to the middle, wanted McNamee, but that goes between his legs and out to center ice. So far, a pretty cautious approach here for the Gladiators. Rumbling down the right wing again is Francis. Gets it to the right corner, backhands it to that corner to Scardina. From low to high, he goes to Nychuk. From point to point, left side Francis, back to Nychuk in the middle. Right wing, Sylvester, down low, backdoor feed from McNamee. Did not connect, wanted Francis. Sylvester, one-timer from the right circle, shut down by Wells. And now Felton will spin away from the pressure on McNamee. Felton goes down. Puck comes back out to the neutral zone. 46 seconds left on the Gladiator power play. Bodone gains the red line as the second unit steps on. Lays it back. Lind to Young at the right point, delays. Down low, connects with Boudon. A French forward takes his time along the near wall. Serves it down low to Lind. They change places. Lind from the right circle. Down low has Boudon. Feeds it to the middle. Hits a jumble of bodies and stays out. Conroy to Boudon. Back of the line. Conroy flings it towards the net. Save Wells. The rebound by Cipollone goes high and wide. Cipollone with it from the goal line, peels it away, puts it towards the goal, and it's kicked out of the crease and through center. Power play expires. Some really good looks there for Atlanta, but Grizzlies penalty kill does get the last laugh. They're 2 for 2 to start the season. Gladiators are 0 for 1.
Yeah, couple great looks on that power play for the Glads there, Guy. And what I really loved about that power play was their zone entries. The most important thing about a power play is entering the zone with possession so you can set up your power play. I thought the Gladiators did a great job of that there.
I agree. They did do a really good job on the zone entry. Utah with the puck as Voigt swings and misses on a one-timer. Salem gets a piece on it at the left point. Stopped there by Hyder. On the right wing, Neil Shea goes around the Gladiator zone. Fires it to the far corner where it's picked up by LeMaster. Returns it to Shea in that corner. On his forehand, feeds it to the middle. Quick shot by a Grizzly there. That was Salem. Is blocked and directed wide. Atlanta able to clear. Young shimmies down the right wing. Chucks it over to the far side. Bodies converge there. Robilotti pinching down, the defenseman working with Mickey Burns as two Grizzlies are there trying to peel it off the far side half wall. Robilotti off the boards to Denemy down deeper. Denemy on his forehand, able to chip it to Burns. To the middle, quick shot there by Walter, stopped by Wells. Gladiators fling it through the crease again, nobody there. Walter has the puck. Jarvis at the line, one-timer into the glove of Wells. He stops the clock with 2:06 left in the second. But Andrew, you talked about the shot count earlier. Margin was at 1.1. Take a look at it now 24-16.
Yeah, I think that power play helped out that shot margin for the Gladiators. Got a couple of really good looks there from both units. First unit had a couple great looks. Second unit as well also had a couple great looks. So I think it was just overall a really good power play for the Gladiators there.
Really good setups. Really good on the execution as well. But Dylan Wells and the Grizzlies hold firm. Glad start the season 0 for 1 on the power play.
You would have loved to, of course, seen a goal on that power play there. But I think a power play can be great to build some momentum, get some good opportunities, keep it rolling here.
I don't think the Gladiators could have set that up much better other than, as you mentioned, scoring a goal. Furiolo from deep in his own end has a man on the right wing. That is Scardina. Nudged off the puck by Pike. Has a man open on the left wing. That is McNamee. Bats it to his stick, chips it in front, and just fired wide of Wells. Mike McNamee not missing a beat. Looks great in his first game back after 4 years away. McNamee taps it into the Grizzlies zone, heads off for a line change. 1:30 left in the second period. Hyder from behind the net will leave it for Conroy. Loses the puck there. Turnover. Utah has it. Kick saved by Hyder. As wide open on the right wing was Geniev. Already has a point tonight on the Ricketts goal. Grizzlies looking dangerous as Messner is stood up at the Gladiator blue line by Conroy. And here is Conroy weaving his way through center ice. Across the blue line. Looks to hit Lind on the fly. Gladiators elect to tumble the puck into the near corner. Grattan to the middle. Has a man moving upwards. That is Reed Lebster. Across for Messner. Flings it off the end wall. The right point. Shot by LeMaster is blocked in front by Boudon. Second opportunity blocked as well from the left side. Salem from the line takes a shot. Hyder gets the save. The rebound available below the near circle. The Gladiators able to get in front and chuck it back out to center. 16 seconds left in the second period. Puck leaks into the Grizzlies zone. No icing there as Denemy checks LeMaster hard. Rubs him off the puck. 3 seconds to go. Not much more forthcoming in the second period, but sets the stage for an exciting third as tempers flare after the horn. Bodies come together in the near corner of the Grizzlies zone. right in the thick of it. Carson Denemy, who threw the initial hit. And we'll see if there's any penalties that come out of this.
Yeah, it's been a long summer, guy. The boys are just saying hello to each other.
That's right. A quick and abrupt hello from Carson Denemy. Gladiators and Grizzlies will both head off. We'll see if anything gets added onto the stat sheet penalty-wise after the horn. But all in all, productive second period for the Gladiators. 1 goal for both sides. Once again, same as we did coming out of the first period. Same in the second. Grizzlies lead by 1. This time the score is 2-1 in favor of Utah. We'll talk about what happened in the second period and the first as well in the second intermission report. But it is Ty Voigt getting the scoring first for Utah in the first, followed by Furiolo 27 seconds into the second, and Ricketts 7-11 into the second period. Regain the lead for Utah at 2-1. We'll talk about it a whole lot more and preview the third period and what's to come from Gas South Arena when we return after a few minutes and a word from our local sponsors.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh. Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance. But at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track. We don't just straighten you out, we empower you.
We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
We even use lasers.
Fucking lasers!
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Welcome back to Duluth, Georgia, where through 40 minutes of play, it is the Grizzlies 2 and the Gladiators 1. Guy Chiarenza alongside Andrew Fleming. Been a fun night so far here tonight. Back and forth affair. 1 goal in the first period, 2 in the second period, as the Utah Grizzlies up by 1 through 40. The lone goal was scored by Ty Voigt in the first period. It was a wraparound goal assisted by Christian Felton and Luke Salem, 9-10 into the first. That was the score through 20 minutes of play as the Grizzlies held the lead there by 1. Same story here, although a pair of goals, one on either side in the second, as Anthony Furiolo and the Gladiators waste no time getting on the board to open period 2. It's a very strong shift for that group as Ethan Scardina gets the primary assist, setting up Furiolo in the slot, but don't want to go unknown that board battle along the near side really set up that play as Chad Nychuk gets the secondary assist on the Gladiators' lone goal so far tonight. Jack Ricketts responded for Utah to make it a 2-1 game, which is where we stand now. Ricketts gets his first professional goal, assisted by Danny Genev and Luke Lamaster. 7-11 into the second period. It was a good shift for the Messner crew for the Grizzlies that set up that play. Good sustained zone time for Utah. Second shift comes on, keeps the play rolling, And it is Genev down below the goal line, sending it to the middle for Ricketts, and he bangs it in for the score. So it is Utah leading 2-1 through 40. Only one penalty called so far tonight, and that was a too many men penalty against Utah. Gladiators go on the power play. Some really good looks there, but they just couldn't convert. Grizzlies make the stand on the penalty kill. They're now 2 for 2 on the young season. They went 1 for 1 last night in Greenville. But all in all, Andrew, shot count still led by the Gladiators, 25-18. A lot to like for Matt Ginn and his crew, but some work to do in the third period, down by 1.
Yeah, certainly. Utah got that shot margin down to 1 about midway through the second period. The Gladiators got that first power play, had a couple great opportunities from both units, and now they take a big lead in the shots. And let's see if they can keep it up in the third here. Just keep peppering Wells.
Yeah, the Gladiators have done a good job of testing Dylan Wells, and Dylan Wells has risen to the occasion. Wells is on an AHL contract with Tucson. Wells is on an AHL contract with Tucson, played 10 AHL games with the Roadrunners last season, but has had a very long ECHL career and a very good one at that, as he has played in 105, now 106 ECHL games in his career. 49, 42, and 8 record there. 3.62 goals against average and an .896 save percentage for Dylan Wells in the ECHL. So he's found a way to be good at the professional level, although it feels like this season for Dylan Wells, coming off a bit of a down year last year with Allen, wants to have a better year this year. Couldn't have drawn it up any better for Dylan Wells in this game, as he has stopped 24 of 25. But let's not let it get lost that Ethan Hyder has gone bar for bar, toe for toe with Dylan Wells so far here tonight. I thought Hyder made a really good series of saves, especially in the second period, where it felt like the Gladiators were a bit behind the 8 ball and the Grizzlies were really pressuring.
Yeah, Gladiators, couple turnovers in their zone. Hyder bailed them out a couple of times there with some big saves to keep this a 1-goal game.
As the Gladiators and the Grizzlies are scoring out for just the 7th time all time, as it is the first time these two teams will have met since 2020. So right before the COVID pause that ended the 2019-2020 season, Grizzlies and the Gladiators met. That last game was won by Atlanta 3-2. Derek Nesbitt had 2 goals and 1 assist that night, and the Gladiators win. This is the first meeting since, and it has not disappointed, as the Gladiators and the Grizzlies have put on a show for an attendance of 5,448. So a great showing here on opening night here in Atlanta. I think that's just a preview of what's to come. You know, Gladiators fans, when they come out big, and they have really shown out here tonight to support their team. So it is Utah 2 and Atlanta 1 through 40 minutes of play. We'll take a moment to step aside and hear a word from our local sponsors, as the Gladiators will try and tie the game up in the third. We're back after this.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh. Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance. But at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track. We don't just straighten you out, we empower you.
We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
We even use lasers.
Fucking lasers!
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
We are back to Duluth, Georgia, as the second intermission report rolls on. Grizzlies lead it 2-1 through 40. I'm Guy Chiarenza alongside Andrew Fleming. Been a fun game so far. See if the Gladiators can complete the comeback in the third period. But for now, let's do a chat check on our YouTube side. So for those of you who are new here, our broadcasts are on Flow Sports, the official streaming service of the ECHL. You can catch us all season long from wherever you're at, on your phone, your tablet, your computer. As long as you've got an internet service, you're good to go on Flow Sports. And so we happen to have all of our Flow Sports patrons here this season, but we're also on YouTube for the second season. So for all of you on YouTube, don't think that I forgot about you, although we did have some technical difficulties on the Flow Sports side earlier tonight. So the YouTube side was there to save us. We were still able to have a broadcast for a moment. So thanks for all of our YouTube watchers and / listeners, as we got a good view of us up here in the booth here at Gas South Arena. Let's take a look and see what's going on in the live chat. And it looks like big thanks to Gladiator fans. A Gladiator fan says that, believe it or not, a group of Grizzlies is called a sleuth. I'll take your word for it. I don't know if I'm going to get somebody to fact check that, but let's go with it. A sleuth of Grizzlies. And you might better mark your words. We will be using that in the third period as the Gladiators look to mount the comeback. Looks like we got Mama Galloway here in the live chat as well. As Connor Galloway's mom says, wow, I'm not there, but I heard a fan just got kicked out for yelling at a coach. Where is Galloway? Well, I think I might have an idea as who that fan might be, as I think I did see Valerie Galloway on the concourse earlier in the night, but I think that's just all speculation. Connor Galloway is a scratch for the Gladiators here tonight. As we got to start a counter of how many times I accidentally say Grizzlies instead of Gladiators. For those of you who don't know, my first stint in professional hockey was with the Grizzlies. So I started out as an intern for Utah. I am from Utah. I was at the University of Utah. My last 2 years there was a broadcast intern for the Grizzlies. And so I spent a lot of years saying Grizzlies. Now here tonight, it's Gladiators and Grizzlies. So a bit of a cool matchup for us here tonight, although I think there's been at least a double digits of instances where I think I've almost said Grizzlies instead of Gladiators, but that's nonetheless. But Carter Galloway is a scratch for the Gladiators here tonight. As also scratched, Ryan Leopelt. Dylan Carabia is dealing with a lower body injury. He has been placed on IR, so we will not see him for at least the next 2 weeks. As Peter Morgan has been scratched for the game as well, as has Zach Yoder. So we may or may not see Peter Morgan and Connor Galloway tomorrow, as these two teams will square off again. So it's a 5-game season series between these two clubs. We will wrap up the set here in Atlanta tomorrow at 3:10 puck drop, followed a 2:50 pregame show here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. And mark your words, I think we will have that up and running by 2:50. Spent a lot of time today working through some technical difficulties. I don't want to jinx anything, but I think we spent enough time hammering that out here tonight. So
knock on wood here, guy. Knock on wood.
2:50 pregame show, barring any setbacks, and 3:10 puck drop here from Atlanta. That'll end the first leg of the season series, and then mid-December, the 10th, 12th, and 13th, we will go to Maverick Center as the Gladiators will play the Grizzlies for 3 games to end the season series. So we'll see what comes out of this season, but it's always fun when you get a matchup that's not within your own division. A lot of the ECHL schedule structure is made so that It's been travel friendly. You don't play too many teams outside of your division all that much. Mostly, for the most part, we see teams like Savannah, Jacksonville, Greenville a lot. Teams within our own division in the South. But there is a few instances throughout the course of the year where you see teams like Utah. We'll see Adirondack come to Atlanta in February. That is the Teddy Bear Toss game on February 14th, which is Valentine's Day. And we will also see the Greensboro Gargoyles for 3 games this year, as Greensboro, in its first season in the ECHL, that should be a fun matchup, as we got a lot on the docket for the schedule this season. So looking forward to the rest of the month of October. Again, you've got Utah again tomorrow, then the Gladiators go on the road for 2 next week, as they will be in Orlando on Thursday and Florida to face the Everblades on Friday. You can catch all that action right here on Flow Sports and YouTube. Your home for Gladiators hockey all season long. So it's been a fun night so far, but it'd be even more fun if the Gladiators came away with a win. So, Andrew, Atlanta down by 1, just 1. 2-1 is your score in favor of Utah through 40. What do the Gladiators need to do here in the third to get back on the board and make it a comeback?
I mean, it's total hockey player cliche, but pucks deep, pucks on that guy. I'm going back to that second line. Boudon, Francis, Lind. That line has been buzzing all night. I think they're due for one here in the third. Maybe 2. Get the game winner. We get out of here in regulation with a win.
You hit the nail on the head right there. I think that line has been fantastic for the Gladiators here tonight. And I think something that kind of gets lost on opening night is, you've had all summer to prepare for a game like this, but at the same time, these guys have only been bonding with each other for the last 2 weeks when training camp opens. So to see this kind of chemistry for the Gladiators to start in just 2 periods, hats off to Matt Ginn, hats off to Zach Fennell and this entire coaching staff of the Gladiators. It's looking really good so far. Maybe a few tweaks and fine-tuning here and there. That'll come with time, but overall, not a bad showing for the Gladiators so far here tonight.
Yeah, Guy, it's first game of the season. You're going to have breakdowns here and there. Guys haven't, obviously training camp, but training camp doesn't really compare. Even an inter-squad game, it doesn't compare to this. So you're going to have some breakdowns. You're going to have some mistakes. It's the first game of the season. Just got to weather the storm and fight through it.
Something else that's worth noting is that the Gladiators did spend the last week here at Gas South Arena for training camp. But the intra-squad game and the week before training camp were all played at the Atlanta Ice Forum down the street. This building was not available. So the Gladiators' experience on this sheet of ice, limited to just that week. And so I can't speak too much on the ice conditions down at ice level, but I think you and I can both say that it has been very warm in the building here today. We are in the South. It was a bit of an overcast day here in Atlanta, but ice conditions might be a factor down there. And so we'll see if that ends up playing a factor here in the third period. But again, the Gladiators down by 1. Got a bad bounce against them in the first period on the wraparound goal from Voigt, but maybe it could be a good bounce for the Gladiators here in the third period. It gets them back on the board and ties the game. Time will tell. Atlanta and Utah back out on the ice for the third period. Gladiators wearing white specialty jerseys with gold trim. It's a Gladiator-inspired jersey. Of course it is. Gladiators x Gladiators to start the season. Awesome jerseys from Tidal Wave Sports. They will skate from right to left here in the third period. Utah wearing black jerseys with white numbers and professional green trim will skate from left to right in the third. Looks like the Mike McNamee line will start again for Atlanta. Furiolo and Nychuk getting the nod to start third period as well. For Utah, looks like it is going to be Luke Manning to take the opening face-off against McNamee. He is out there with Shea and Voigt. D pairing, Felton and Pike.
Fans are certainly in it tonight, guys. This place is jumping.
Now, this building holds about 8,000 people. So for this to be at a capacity about 5,500, not too shabby. Not a lot of empty seats. Great showing out here for night 1 of the season. McNamee against Manning to start the third period. The Gladiator, the victor. Fans fired up. Atlanta looking to tie. It is Nychuk from his own blue line, pelting into the skate of the linesman. Turnover here. Shea across, tries to fling it to Manning. He does get there, but behind the intended receiver. But goes to the end wall. Furiolo clinks it up ahead, looking for Scardina. Has trouble handling, and so Voigt will rip it off the end wall where it's collected by Furiolo. Furiolo, the lone Gladiator goal scorer this night, locates Nychuk. He rips one wide of Wells. And over on the far side, the Gladiators look to get to work. Although the puck leaks over to Pike. And he turns it over. Turns it over to Les, puts it on goal. Tip in front from Sylvester. Shut down by Wells. A good look there for Cody Sylvester. And he's been in his office tonight, right there in front of the net. Puts it on goal from the right side. And on the rebound, Jarvis is stymied by Voigt on the back check. Boudon walks the line. Drifts towards the right side. Stops at the half wall. Gives it to Jarvis up top. Rips it, lets it fly into the glove of Wells. And he freezes 1:07 into the third. But again, Andrew, the Gladiators were buzzing to start the second period. Same thing here to start the third.
Yep. Great start here. Great forecheck, forcing some turnovers. Utah a little careless with the puck in their own zone. Chipping it over to absolutely no one. Gladiators there to pick it up and get a decent look here.
Face off to the right of Wells. Won by Utah. They will clear. Conroy chips it up to Francis in the neutral zone. The former Adirondack Thunder member will whack it and be shrugged off the puck. Jarvis, make that Lynn, can't locate it in the neutral zone. Francis helps out and whacks away the stick of Gratton. So it's been a tough night for Tyler Gratton. Ever since he collided with Ethan Hyder in the first, the Gladiators are making his night very, very difficult. The puck trickles in on Wells. He freezes 1:35 into the third. Looks like the Gladiators will get a line change. Off goes Kaylin Lynn, Louis Boudon, and that trio. But again, another solid showing for that line. Face off to the right of Wells. Won by Utah. They chuck it to the neutral zone. Down the right wing goes Shea. Stops on a dime, feeds it to the right point for Enns. Rips it on goal for a pad save by Hyder. Rebound goes to the near half wall. Springs over to Les. He's able to feather it up ahead. Cross-ice feed intended for Denemy is broken up by the Grizzlies. And so the Gladiators will have to try again. Denemy again finds a man in the middle. Quick shot by Young. Looks like it hit a Grizzly up high. As getting a piece of that was Salem. Back up on his feet just to pick up a loose puck. He is lumbering a bit. Stays out on the ice. Up top, Furiolo lets it fly and scores! The Gladiators tip it in and we're tied. Not sure if that goal is going to go to Furiolo or not, but if it is, great night for Anthony Furiolo. And it looks like it will be him. Goes to the bench first. He's got two.
Great look there from Furiolo. Great job by the forwards on this third line. Creating traffic in front. Furiolo seeing eye shot from the point. Hit something out front. Might have been a Grizzly. Finds his way to the back of the net. Furiolo's got his second of the night, and we're tied.
And I think that might have been Carson Denemy in front. Looking at the replay here in Arena, I think Denemy might have gotten a piece of that. And we're not going to get another look at it here. So we'll see what the verdict ends up being. But if it's Furiolo, it's his second of the night. And he's already had half of his goal total from last year in one day. If it's Denemy, he's got his 100th career pro point. Time will tell. Either way, the Gladiators have tied it 2-2. And again, another goal in the opening minutes of a period. Brand new game again. Down the right wing, Genev on the backhand. Circles around Hyder, feeds it to the middle, over a stick to Felton. On the left side has Ness. Down low, connects with Pike. Backhand tried to sneak it in short side on Hyder, but the goaltender would not be fooled. Genev gets it up top to Pike. Has a man at the half wall on Ness. Cross-ice feed, leaps over to the stick of Felton. Would have been a dangerous chance if he had got it on the first touch. Instead, he's forced out to the neutral zone nicely by Ryan Nolan, the former member of the Fayetteville Marksmen in the SPHL. Had 16 games on loan with Adirondack last year, had 1 goal and 2 assists. He stays out there defensively, shuts down Felton as he fires a shot wide. As McNamee has it in open space. Him and his crew will look to get the Gladiators back on the board again, and this time take the lead. Turnover by Shea. McNamee takes advantage. They'll go around the net. Waiting for it is Sylvester. He's got it on the far half wall. Sylvester prods it over to Scardina. Takes a check there from Colby Enns. Puck loose below the goal line. The hit from Enns is able to make sure that Utah has the puck, and they will scurry away. Shea on the right wing. Rubbed out nicely by Jarvis. The crowd howls in approval.
Old school hip check there from Jarvis along the wall.
Andrew Jarvis is an old school kind of player. Here comes Louis Boudon, all alone, stopped by Wells. Louis Boudon looking up into the rafters, the one that got away.
I said that second line, guy. That second line was going to get one, and they almost gave it to me there.
You know what? If they get a goal here tonight, if they end up converting on the game winner, if the Gladiators win, hats off to you, because you called it.
I'd like to go to that Furiolo goal that was just scored. Puck up top at the point. Furiolo's got it. He waits for his forwards to get traffic in front, because if he just takes that shot and Wells sees it all the way, he's gobbling that up all day. Yep. He waits for his forwards to create a screen, create some traffic, and the puck's in the back of the net. Great patience by Furiolo.
Gladiators win a face-off. Francis has it from the right point. Serves it down deeper, looking for Lind, although getting in front was Felton, and he subsequently turns it over. Helping out is Messner, and the Grizzlies will emerge. They want to hit a home run pass to Gratton. It ends up making its way there, but not in quite the way that Messner and company had intended. And it's now backpedaling as Felton. So back to the goal scored by the Gladiators to tie it. It does belong to Anthony Furiolo, so it is his second of the night. And Anthony Furiolo is on hat-trick watch as Alec Young gets the primary assist, Chad Nychuk the secondary. So it's a multi-point night for both two defensemen, Nychuk and Furiolo. Robolati through the neutral zone, almost had Lind on a breakaway. Instead, the Grizzlies intercept. It's Manning on the right side. Boxed away by the Swedish forward Walter. An errant pass sends the puck out of the Gladiators zone. And it's a free clear for Atlanta. 14-18 left in the third period. Furiolo's second goal of the night was scored 2:28 in. Thought that Denemy might have tipped it in out in front. Ends up going to Furiolo. And Atlanta's got two, and deuces are wild in Duluth. Under 14 minutes left in the third. Utah looking to get their third lead of the night. Atlanta looking for their first and a comeback victory. Puck goes down to the Grizzlies' end wall. Young is shrugged away from the puck. Griffin Ness has it, pinned up there by Ryan Nolan at the end wall. Denemy comes in to help out on the right side. Quick shot goes off a body and wide. Puck skitters over to the near side, where Jarvis has it at the point. They'll hammer it around to the right side, and back the other way we go to the left, where Jarvis is waiting at the point. Wheeling and dealing. Back the other way he goes to Nolan. Put down below the goal line behind Wells. Jarvis gets closed in on by a Grizzly. Enns was there in the area as well. And Utah able to emerge as Ness. They'll chip it deep into Gladiator ice. It was John Jalot that made the play there that took down Jarvis. Meanwhile, Atlanta chucks it to the far side at open space. Skating into it is Pike. The 2 goals last night. Looking to expand on that showing here today, but not on that play. Gladiators shut him down. Out to the neutral zone we go. It's going to be interesting here to see how conservative both sides are defensively in a tie game about midway through the third. 12:20 left in period 3, tied up at 2. Voigt's one-timer from the blue line is blocked by Scardina. Puck rumbles back to Salem, looking up ahead. Wanted Ricketts. Gladiators couldn't get, the Grizzlies couldn't get that play off, and so now the Gladiators Rip it over to the near corner. Sylvester finishes a check on Voigt, and the Grizzlies will clear to center. On a back and forth here in possession. Looks like a tennis match here. Left to right, back and forth we go. Utah dumps it down. They go off for a change. Here is Furiolo along with Nychuk. A good omen to come. Both a multi-point night here tonight. Puck is chipped into Boudon. Here's that line you've been talking about all night, Andrew. As puck leaks out of the zone. Voigt's got open space on the right side. Nychuk defending. A give and go and a quick shot there from Shea. Shut down by Hyder. From point to point on the left side, it's Winslow. Off the end wall. Manning crunched by Furiolo. Puck trickles over to the near corner where Boudon has it for Atlanta. Cross-ice feeding. One quickly to the middle. Offline for Lind. He gives pursuit as the rest of his line goes off for a change. And now he will do the same as well. 10:53 left in the third period. All tied up at 2. Puck hits the linesman on the far side of the Utah zone, right in front of the bench. Messner takes it, scrambles up ahead, splits the D, tries to whiff a shot on goal, but it's blocked.
Delay penalty. Gladiators going to be short here.
Messner with it. Young touches up, and Utah will get its first power play of the night when we come back. So, Furiolo ties it up at 2, his second of the night. 2:28 in, has made it a brand new game. But the Grizzlies trying to get that lead back. They'll head to the power play when we return with 10:24 left in the third.
So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
So Anthony Furiolo ties the game at 2, 2:28 into the third, but now with 10:24 to go in regulation, Isaac Walter is in the box for a slashing 2-minute minor, coming 9:36 into the third period, puts Utah on its first power play of the night. And now we'll get to see how good this Gladiator penalty kill is, as the Grizzlies last night could not convert on the power play. Yeah, 0 for 4. So not a very good showing for Utah on the power play last night in Greenville. Gladiators hoping that that trend continues. On the PK for Atlanta, it is Les, Denemy, Cipollone, who will take the face-off, and Jarvis to open things up. Face-off to the right of Hyder. Won by Utah. Pike at the left point. Serves it up to Shea. Backhands it off the wall to Pike. Cross ice he goes for Voigt. Back the other way. Connects with Shea, but not before a Gladiator gets a stick on it. Around the horn he goes to Gratton. Now back up top, it's Pike. To the left side has Shea in open space. His shot is blocked. And the puck goes into the netting. We get a whistle here, and Les and Gratton are jabbing at each other. And fans howling approval.
Gratton's just been in the mix all night here.
I think the term you use in hockey is, I mean, you think about guys like Brad Marchand, you know, the list goes on and on. The word rat gets thrown around a lot, and not to put it lightly, Gratton is a little bit of a rat here tonight for Utah. He's been chipping in offensively, but behind the scenes been sneakily just getting under the skin of the Gladiators. And I think Brendan Les was throwing a couple of jabs there with Gratton, and you know, it's careful not to get sucked into that trap. You don't want to take another penalty here and go down to a 5-on-3. 1:38 remaining on the penalty to Walter. That is Utah on the power play. It'll be Gratton to take the face-off against Denemy. Denemy the victor. Gladiators trying to whack it out, but it's held in by Pike at the left point. He's got it. Goes cross ice to Voigt. Back the other way to Pike in the high slot. Lets it fly. Blocker saved by Hyder. The rebound simmers down on the far side. Pike another shot. Flips up towards the net. Pop fly. Grabbed by the glove of Hyder. And he freezes with 9:45 to go in regulation. And 1:21 left on the penalty to Walter.
Great kill so far from the Gladiators. Keeping all of these Utah opportunities to outside ice. When you're killing penalties, you don't want to give up inside ice because that's the danger zone. That's where you're going to give up goals. If they can keep everything to the outside here, get out of this penalty kill tied.
Block shots have been a big key for the Gladiators on this penalty kill as well. A couple of big ones there in that last sequence is on the ensuing faceoff. Atlanta will clear. Utah right back in. Manning brushed away by Les, although Manning is able to filter it over to Messner on the near side. Waiting at the half wall is Boudon to pin him up. Board battle there. Utah shakes it down. Ricketts to the left side for Manning. Skates into the circle, goes cross ice, and a nice defensive stick by Boudon breaks it up. Ricketts scrambles to get it back, slows things down. From the near half wall, plays it from low to high. Salem across, has Manning. At the left circle, delays. Looks to the middle, nothing open, and so behind the net he goes to Messner. Right circle, Ricketts delays, looks for a trailer in Salem, pass behind. It's a free clear for the Gladiators, just 30 seconds left on the Utah power play. Ricketts on the right side, has it down low again to Ness. They'll feed it to the left side for Salem. He'll survey, go across to Ricketts, back up top to Messner. Returns it to Ricketts below the right circle. Waiting in the corner, has a man at the goal line. Return to Ricketts, climbs his way back up to the blue line, working with Salem. Boudon defending. We'll hand it off to Ness. Back to Ricketts. Penalty killed by Atlanta. Puck leaks out of the zone. Fresh out of the box is Walter. Had a chance, but just couldn't get a touch on it. Good kill there for Atlanta. They start the season 1-for-1. Ness on the right side. Slices it over to the far side, intended for Pike, but getting in front of that for Atlanta was Nolan. Gladiators stretch it to the neutral zone, trying to hit McNamee on the move, but puck jumps off of his stick, and now Felton has it for Utah. Under 8 minutes to go here in the third. 7:52 and counting on the game clock. Another board battle here in the near side of the Gladiators zone. Nightchuck, D-to-D for Furiolo. We've seen a lot of that tonight. 2 goals come out of it. McNamee bursts his way into the zone. Right side shot is blocked. Good chance there for Scardina, who's already got his first pro point tonight on an assist on the first Furiolo goal. Puck is directed to the far half wall where bodies converge. Hands along the glass, tapping and laughing and giggling and cheering there as the puck is still pinned up against that yellow stripe that runs along the boards. I think that giggling is starting to turn into yelling and shouting. Let's move things along here, they say, as the puck jumbles to the end wall. Tapping it there is Sylvester for Atlanta. Sylvester tries to peel it away from Genev. Big hit does so. One-timer from Furiolo goes wide. Nightchuck pinching down to the far corner. Under 7 minutes left here with 6:40 to go. Nightchuck with it on his forehand, swings it over, one in a man on the right point. Francis was there, but pass a little too hot. It escapes the zone, and both teams will get a line change. Francis stays out there, using his speed to his advantage. We saw that a lot through training camp, but he is shut down at the blue line, and now Utah will surge ahead. On the far corner, Les works against Manning. Another board battle here. As this one taking a while as well. This time there's no fans in that corner, there's just photographers. So maybe some good pictures coming out of that. Puck finally squeaks free, and on the opposite end, it is Jarvis floating it through the neutral zone, looking for Francis. Again, that pass too hot to handle. 5:50 to go in the third. Jarvis will skate back into his own end to retrieve the puck, and the Gladiators look to break out. Here's Conroy, sliding down the left wing. Wells behind the cage, slows it down. Fendering attempt from the Grizzlies, gets out the center. 2-on-1 here. Conroy defending, gets a piece of it. Gratton tries to backhand it to the middle. What an offensive play by Conroy. He shuts it all down.
Great play by Conroy there, breaking up the 2-on-1 by sliding down and using his body to break up the pass.
Incredible. So a guy that's known as an offensive defenseman, I think he's putting in a case as to why he's more of a two-way defenseman here tonight as well, as Conroy with a great defensive play on the 2-on-1 keeps it a 2-2 score with 5:20 to go. We're back in 30 seconds here to Duluth, Georgia to find out how this one ends.
Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance, but at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track. We don't just straighten you out, we empower you.
We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
We have got a nail-biter here in Atlanta. The Grizzlies, 2. The Gladiators, 2. What a way to open up the new season. 38th year of the ECHL, 22nd season of Gladiators hockey. Been a lot of fun, and all that's left to cap it off is the Gladiators win. 5:20 left here in the third, Andrew. Shot count 29-22 in favor of the Gladiators. Been a back-and-forth third period here.
Yeah, shots pretty even here in the third period. Both teams have had some good chances here. Both goaltenders still playing very well for both sides here.
So Atlanta led the shot count 14-6 in the first. Utah led it 12-10 in the second. Now here in the third, a bit even at 5-4 in favor of the Gladiators. Face off to the left of Hyder. Alex Young will take the face off out there with Denemy and Walter. Draw is won by Atlanta. They'll push the narrative to the neutral zone. Puck squibbles over to the right side. Young skates into it. He's got speed as well. Flings it through the crease, and it goes in and out the other side. Denemy, below the goal line, winds it up top. Quick shot by Young in the slot, and Wells makes the save.
What a great save by Wells there, sliding left to right, cutting across, and just robbing Young.
Well, this line is buzzing as well, and it seems like as the night has gone on, from top down, first line, second line, third line to fourth line, the Gladiators have gotten more chemistry. They've gelled. They look better and better as the game has gone on. So that line goes off. As Young stays out in the forecheck, and on comes the first line with Scardina, McNamee, and Sylvester. Puck is dumped down to Hyder. Behind the cage he plays. Oncoming was Voigt, though Hyder gets the pass off just in time. Puck on the near wall. Batted out of the air. Looking for Scardina was McNamee. I think if the Gladiators had touched it up, that would have been a hand pass. So Utah jabs it back down to Hyder, and the Gladiators will try again. On the right wing, taking it in stride is Scardina. Loses it a bit. Puck stays in the zone, but Les can't keep it there. Two Grizzlies were forcing it out to the neutral zone. 3:50 left in the third. Tied up at 2. Got to think that the next goal here tonight is going to be the game winner. As Neil Shea digs his way down below the goal line. Rushes it along to the near side for Ness. Puck squeaks over to Francis, and he takes it up ice. Has his pocket picked by Geniev with speed. Stumbles a bit, so slows down on the far boards, and has it knifed away by Francis. Ryan Francis is just that kind of player. Bend but don't break. Just when you think you've got him, he bites back.
Great battle there by Francis and Geniev. Geniev comes back, picks Francis's pocket. Francis comes right back and picks Geniev's pocket. Great back and forth there.
The interesting thing about Danny Geniev is he was actually with the Idaho Steelheads last week for a preseason game against the Grizzlies. As the Grizzlies like what they saw, they traded for him earlier in the week. Felton on his forehand shakes away a defender and fires wide left of Hyder. Puck skitters around to the far side where Ricketts will dash it over to Grattan. Keep the play moving for Messner, who hits the deck courtesy of Cipolone. Cipollone lost his stick. He'll go to the bench and stay there. Meanwhile, the Gladiators dump it down. Wells slows it down, but Atlanta stays hot on the forecheck. Gladiators will complete a line change. And here's a turnover. Young in front, just fires wide. Ends and Felton, miscommunication there. Atlanta trying to take advantage. At the line, Les to Jarvis, fires towards the goal. Pad save by Wells. Directs the puck to the near half wall. Up top, it's Jarvis holding and shooting into traffic. Puck is loose, out in front, and the Gladiators can't convert as Walter was there. Chances one way or the other, but just no cherry on top. Voigt down low, tries to sneak one in on Hyder short side. Not going to happen. So with 1:41 left in the third, he freezes. And with every second that goes off the clock, it becomes more and more important to spend less time in your own zone and more time in your oppositions, and the Gladiators have done just that.
Isaac Walter with a great chance out front there. Wells standing strong and stoning him.
Dylan Wells and Ethan Hyder have put on a show here tonight. Got to think that one of those two is going to be the first star of the game. Behind the net, Gladiators surge to the neutral zone. On the right side, Grizzlies ship it out. Big check by Sylvester. Sends Winslow to the ice. Whistle blows. Bodies converge. Couple of jabs there, 1:10 left in the third. If there is a penalty here, it could prove to be very impactful.
Referee never put his arm up. We'll see what comes out of this here, guy.
And I wonder in a moment like this, if they're just going to let this play out with a 2-2 game. 1:10 left in the third. It doesn't appear like there will be any kind of penalty. So we'll stay 5-on-5. Shot count 32-23 in favor of Atlanta. Here in the third period, they have outshot the Grizzlies 8-4. Neutral zone face-off on the near side at the top of the Grizzlies' blue line. Face-off won by Atlanta and turned over. As a quick shot by Grattan goes wide.
Little mix-up on the second line here. We got Cipollone in the place of Lind. Skating with Boudon and Francis here. See if it pays dividends here for the Gladiators in this last minute.
50 seconds to go. Atlanta on the forecheck. Puck deep in the Grizzlies zone. Felton tries to slither away from the pressure of Boudon. And the Grizzlies are going to try and wait this out. And the crowd not very happy about it. They delay as much time as they can. 30 seconds left on the game clock. Felton into the attacking zone, and now we've got a penalty.
Atlanta's going to have a power play here. Little pick play set by Utah in the neutral zone. Referee caught it. Gladiators are going to go to the power play here.
Wow. It is a penalty. And it's on Ricketts.
Yeah, and he's not happy about it.
Cipollone, I think, was the one that had the play happen against him. It's like interference is the call.
Yep.
And Atlanta will get a second power play of the night with 22.6 to go. So if the Gladiators do not score in the next 22.6 seconds, we go to overtime and both teams get a point. Gladiators would then have almost a full set of power play time to start the 7-minute overtime period. So we talked about it before. A penalty at this stage in the game could be very impactful. Oh, now we get to see that scenario play out. Face-off to the right of Wells. Taking it is McNamee. Up against Mick Messner. The 5 for Atlanta. McNamee. Scardina, Francis, Nychuk, and Cody Sylvester. And Sylvester taking this face-off, although he will win it. Nychuk across to Francis. From the right circle, holds and shoots and just fired high and wide. Rebound picked up by Sylvester. Tried to sneak it to the slot. Comes to Nychuk. He fires into the gullet of Wells, who freezes with 9.5 seconds to go. Couldn't have drawn that up much better for the Gladiators. You win the face-off and just do as much as you can to get the puck on net. Got to think that that same memo is going to be spoken out here.
Yeah, 2 great opportunities for the Gladiators in that 13 seconds of power play time. First one, Francis. Second one, Nychuk.
Messner heads off. On comes Grissom Ness. Otherwise, the personnel stays the same. Face-off this time goes to the boards. Grizzlies are going to try and pin it up. Time draining off the clock. And so in game 1 of the new season, Atlanta and Utah go to overtime. 1:38 left on the Gladiator power play, so it will be a 4-on-3 in favor of Atlanta to start sudden death overtime.
In the season opener. More hockey fans, more hockey, make some noise! As we get ready for overtime.
So we'll get some time to think about it. But Andrew, what an exciting game so far. And now we get a taste of extra hockey here with overtime.
I don't think you could have asked for a more fun start to the season. This game's been back and forth, great action. Couldn't have asked for a better opening night here in Atlanta.
I'm intrigued to see what either coach sends out personnel-wise to begin overtime. For Utah, it is John Buchanan, the head coach, with assistant coach Ryan Anderson and Jack Skilly. For Atlanta, it is Matt Ginn, the head coach. Assistant coach is Zach Fennell, barking out orders at the bench. For the Gladiators, now we get a sneak peek of the personnel for Atlanta. Looks like it's McNamee, Francis, Sylvester, and Boudon. So 3 forwards, 1 defenseman for Atlanta. They will skate from left to right here in overtime. Wearing white jerseys with gold trim. It's a special night here in Atlanta for the season opener. Gladiator is the theme.
Gladiators going to start this overtime period with 1:38 of power play time.
Good chance for Atlanta to win the game. Again, in the ECHL, 3-on-3 overtime, just like you see in the NHL. Practically the same rules, but in the ECHL, they play a 7-minute overtime period. So that really limits the amount of shootouts that you see throughout the course of the year, ever since that rule went into effect a number of years ago. And so 4 on the ice for Atlanta. They are on the power play. For Utah, it is Mick Messner with Felton and Pike. 1 forward, 2 defensemen. Face-off won by Atlanta. They will start overtime with possession. Louis Boudon over the red line into attacking territory. Stops at the right wall. Slithers his way up top to the high slot. Feeds it right side for Francis. He'll delay, hold, feed it to Sylvester, back to Francis. Left circle, back to Sylvester. One-time bomb, shot by Wells. Rebound, Boudon, score! It's a walk-off winner for Louis Boudon, and the Gladiators win it 3-2 in overtime.
I'm going to say it again, guy. That second line, they finally came through for me.
Right in the thick of it. The center of that line, which has been great all night, Louis Boudon has the OT winner, and the Gladiators win it 28 seconds into overtime. Incredible.
Great work by that Gladiators 4-man power play there. Sylvester up top. Francis on the left side gives it up to Sylvester, the one-timer. McNamee in front, puts it on net for the rebound. Boudon's there to clean it up, and the Gladiators get a great opening night win home here at home.
So with almost a full house in attendance, the Gladiators put on a show. It's a comeback victory in overtime in Atlanta. Louis Boudon with the game-winning goal. Cody Sylvester and Ryan Francis set up the play to keep it alive. Boudon on the second opportunity off the initial save by Wells. Fires it into the back of the net, and Atlanta heads into tomorrow's game undefeated and happy. Incredible game so far. Incredible game here tonight. What an atmosphere. What a night. And the Gladiators will take a 1-0 record into tomorrow's game against Utah. Anthony Furiolo with 2 goals. Louis Boudon, the game winner. Chad Nychuk, 2 assists. The 3 stars of the night are about to be announced, but I think you have a good idea as to who that might be just based off of the names I said there. What an impressive showing from the Gladiators here. And I think before we get into the 3 stars in the post-game show, Andrew, felt like what Matt Ginn had been echoing all summer long came to fruition here. Wanted to be a tough team to play against. Wanted to not end a game without going down with a fight. This team stuck through it to the end, and they get rewarded with the overtime victory.
Yeah, and I thought what Coach Ginn said in the summer, they wanted to play with pace. And I thought we saw that a lot here tonight. They were able to enter the zone with speed, with possession of the puck, and they were able to set up a lot of good opportunities for themselves. And let's not let the performance of Ethan Hyder go unnoticed here. Only gave up 2 goals on 22 shots, stood tall for the Gladiators when they were down, and is honestly probably the main reason that the Gladiators are able to come out of this game tonight with a win.
Also very true. It's always good to recognize the winning goalie, and Ethan Hyder definitely played a large part in this win for Atlanta. Chad Nychuk, the 3rd star, had 2 assists tonight. Anthony Furiolo's got 2 here in this game. Yeah, the first 2 for Atlanta. He is your 2nd star tonight, and if you weren't already sure as who the 1st star would be, your 1st star of the night is Louis Boudon. And he will make his way out of the tunnel sometime soon.
And the number 1 star and tonight's game winner in overtime, Boudon.
Louis Boudon, the game winner, 28 seconds into overtime. And Atlanta is victorious to start the year. And so the stat survives. Atlanta still undefeated in home openers since 2019. Atlanta has now won 5 straight home openers, and everybody's happy in Atlanta.
Boudon, you are our first star of the game.
Fans applaud Louis Boudon down at ice level. Let's see if we can tap into this. I'm not sure how well that will carry, but we'll try.
Incredible. Now, how does you feel about the energy tonight?
It's phenomenal. You guys have to put it down 2 months.
All right, now, most important question. Keeping the momentum for tomorrow, how do you think you guys are going to keep this?
I think we got to keep the same energy. They're going to play the 3rd game and 3 games more than the 2nd game. So I think we're going to be able to fresh on that and just play the same system. I think we're going to get the 2nd game tomorrow.
Incredible. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
So Louis Boudon gets the game-winning goal. Brings us to the post-game show here tonight. Just incredible. There's some games sometimes where you just wrap up the night and all you can do is just shake your head. And this is one of those nights for Atlanta. But that never say die mentality that Matt Ginn has been preaching all summer long comes into full effect here tonight. Here's how it broke down. So back in the first period, back and forth action to start. Ty Voigt gets the scoring started for Utah. 9-10 into the first period. It's a wraparound score. He'll go around the net using his speed, able to clink it off a body out in front. Doesn't matter how it gets there. It got there. Ends up in the back of the net, and Voigt has his 2nd in as many games, and the Grizzlies are off and running. Felton with the assist, as does Salem, as the Grizzlies had a 1-0 lead through 20. No penalties scored in the first period. In the second period, the Gladiators get to work, and it does not take them long. Just 27 seconds into the second period, Anthony Furiolo gets on the board for the first time tonight, assisted by Ethan Scardina and Chad Nychuk. And what a play that was, Andrew. Board battle here on the near side. Nychuk and company able to squeak it to the middle, as then it was Scardina locating Furiolo. He's able to bang it in for his first of the night.
Yeah, it started with that great pinch from Nychuk, coming down from his point, cutting the puck off. Scardina coming in there, battling with them, helping them out. Scardina able to walk out with that puck. basically a 2-on-1 between him and Furiolo. Slides it across to Furiolo in the high slot. He goes 5-hole. That tied the game 1-1 there.
It did tie the game, but that deadlock was broken. 7-11 into the second period. Jack Ricketts gets his first professional goal off of a feed from Danny Geniev. From the goal line, Geniev finds Ricketts somewhere around the slot. He is able to pump it into the back of the net for the score. Luka Master gets the secondary assist, and the Grizzlies take their lead back. It's 2-1 through 2. Gladiators did get a power play in that second period. There's some really good things going on in that power play, but we're just not able to put the cherry on top and capitalize, although the Gladiators power play looks like that throughout the rest of the season. I think it's going to be one of the better units in the league. So that was the score through 2 periods of play. Utah 2, Atlanta 1. You go to the third, and this is where it's some really good pace, back and forth action. You mentioned pace earlier before. That's another thing that Matt Ginn preached throughout the course of the summer. We saw it. Atlanta dictating the terms for the most part in the third period, although aside for a few chances for Utah, the Gladiators do take advantage and get on the board. They outshoot the Grizzlies 9-4 in the third, and Atlanta is able to make the most out of it. Anthony Furiolo gets his second of the night. This one comes from Alex Young and Chad Nychuk, 2:28 into the third. So again, a lot of pace to start the period. Gladiators, again, get another goal out of it. 2 goals in the first 3 minutes in 2 out of the 3 periods here tonight for Atlanta. On that play, Furiolo takes a long-range shot from the right point. Thought it might have gotten tipped out in front by Carson Denemy. It did not. Furiolo's got his second of the game, and it's crazy. Furiolo had 4 goals last season for Atlanta. Already in one night, he's got 2. I think he's primed for a big year for the Gladiators this season. Alex Young gets the primary assist. Chad Nychuk the secondary. Nychuk finishes the night with 2 assists. Furiolo, 2 goals. That goal would be the last goal in regulation. To overtime we went, but not without a Gladiator advantage, as towards the end of regulation, the Gladiators go to the power play. As an ill-advised penalty from Jack Ricketts, an interference minor, looked like with just 23 seconds left in regulation, sends the Gladiators to the power play. Atlanta, a good couple of chances there and to end regulation. Wasn't enough. We go to overtime, and then the Gladiators work their magic. On the power play, 4-on-3. You've been talking about them all night long, Andrew. Louis Boudon and that group, they are able to put the puck in the back of the net and call it a night. Louis Boudon, 28 seconds into overtime from Mike McNamee and Cody Sylvester gets the Gladiators the win. 3-2 your final score. A really good setup from Ryan Francis to Cody Sylvester to kind of kick things off. Then the Gladiators just put a bunch of bullets on net towards Dylan Wells. Was able to stop a couple of them, but not the final one from Boudon. Towards the bottom of the right circle here on our near side, he's able to fire it into the back of the net top shelf. And that's it. The Gladiators walk out of the building victorious, 3-2. You look at your shot count here tonight. Atlanta outshoots Utah 36-22. 14-6 Atlanta advantage in the first period. 12-10 Utah advantage in the second, but where it counted in the third, the Gladiators get them 9-4 the advantage in period 3. And the Gladiators take the only 3 shots in overtime, and I believe all of those were taken on the sequence in which Boudon scored. So all in all, the Gladiators go 1 for 2 on the power play and 1 for 1 on the penalty kill. Not a bad night for the Gladiators in all areas, as Ethan Hyder ends up stopping 20 of 22. Dylan Wells with a really good performance for Utah stops 34 of, it's like 33 of 36. The University of Utah math working in there. 33 of 36, and the Gladiators survive a goaltending duel between Hyder and Wells, and they get the victory. So a lot of fun here in the building tonight in front of a crowd that was almost at max capacity. This building holds about 8,000. Gladiators were able to pack in almost 6,000 people here tonight. What a great showing. What a great atmosphere. Feels good to come away with a win.
Certainly, Guy. I'd like to go back to that overtime goal by Boudon. A great umbrella setup by the Gladiators on the power play. Sylvester up at the point. Francis, a righty, on the left side, on his one-timer side. Boudon opposite him. Boudon, a lefty. On the right side, his one-timer side. McNamee, big body, big presence, stationed out in front of the net. Francis on the left side gets it up to Sylvester. One-timer from the point. Gets it on net. McNamee's there for a rebound, tries to smack in the rebound. Boudon coming in on that right side, on his one-timer side. Easy. Open net, puts it in. Gladiators win the home opener tonight.
Just one more thing to add about great analysis, by the way. You've been great all night long. Is this your first game?
Maybe.
Incredible. Incredible. Great job tonight. But going back to that play, I think to add on to that, there was a lot of patience there from the Gladiators. I think there was a good couple of chances where Sylvester or Francis could have quickly shot it, and who knows what happened after that. But there was a bit of patience there. They kind of played with it back and forth, and then when the time was right, they decided to let it rip and put it on goal. But all in all, Cody Sylvester, 13th year pro, he knows when that time comes, and he took it when the opportunity came. Gladiators win in overtime. Unbelievable night, capped off here in Atlanta. We'll do it again tomorrow. 3:10 puck drop, 2:50 pregame show. And we do apologize for the technical difficulties that we had towards the beginning of the night, especially on Flow Sports with the audio. What can you say? After a long summer, a lot of dust settles. Things kind of get shuffled around. You got a new guy like me on the job, first day on the job, and of course, everything goes haywire. So we appreciate everybody who stuck with us here tonight and tuned in to watch an epic battle between the Gladiators and the Grizzlies. And the Gladiators, one battle down, one win, one battle down, 71 to go. And the next one comes tomorrow afternoon here at Gas South Arena. Andrew, any final thoughts here?
I thought that this was exactly what Coach Ginn was looking for. His first win as a head coach in the ECHL. I thought I'm super happy for him. I thought this was a great game for the Gladiators. He came in with a great game plan, coming in, playing with pace. I thought they did exactly that. I think he's got to be proud of his boys tonight.
Absolutely. And let's not let that get lost throughout all of what's happened tonight. Matt Ginn does pick up his first win as a head coach in the ECHL, his first win behind the bench of the Gladiators as the head honcho. He gets it done in overtime, and an impressive showing from start to finish. A full 60 minutes and 28 seconds here in overtime is enough to get the Gladiators the 3-2 victory. So for Utah, they end up the losers here tonight, but they do pick up a point, and now they're up to 3 on the season. 1-0 and 1 on the year are the Grizzlies. So sets the stage for another exciting matchup tomorrow afternoon. Make sure you're back here on Flow Sports and YouTube to check that one out here, as it surely will not disappoint. Grizzlies, Gladiators. We'll have it all for you here tomorrow, as that'll wrap things up here on the postgame show here from Atlanta. Let's do a chat check on the YouTube side before we get out of here. Yeah, everybody's happy. Everybody's happy on the YouTube side, and things couldn't have gone better on the ice here tonight. Well, I think that'll do it for us here on the postgame show. We've got an auction to get to. At least I've got an auction to get to, as the Gladiators will be auctioning off those white jerseys with gold trim tonight. So after the game, in just a couple of minutes now, if I check my watch, they're going to go down there by the main entrance. They're going to auction off those jerseys, but they're still going to wear them tomorrow. So if you missed out and did not get to watch those in action here tonight, while they will be auctioned off and sold tonight, they will not be handed out until after the game tomorrow. So you will be able to see those in person, hopefully, here tomorrow night. But if not, we'll look forward to see you here on Flow Sports and YouTube once again. That'll do it for our coverage here tonight. I'd like to thank our production crew here from Gas South Arena, especially our IT crew, as, again, we did have a rough night to start, as a lot of moving parts, a lot of new faces in the building. It happens. What can you say? It's a bit of a learning curve. So we do apologize there, but big hats off. Thank you to those crew. That crew, they did a fantastic job. And for the rest of us here as well, they say good night and so long. I'm Guy Chiarenza for Andrew Fleming, saying good night and so long here from Duluth, Georgia. Gladiators win it 3-2 on Louis Boudon's game-winning goal, 28 seconds into overtime. I'm Guy Chiarenza saying so long and see you tomorrow.